Well, while Abbie helps Mikal not be an old man, welcome to TV Party Time Popcorn Talk. As in the title, we are going to be talking about Dune because we can't not talk about it. We haven't talked to each other for like a day and a half because we want to talk about Dune so much.
But first, Dune Talk.
Yes.
Dune Talk.
But first, we're going to talk about other stuff that we're watching for about 20 minutes. Then we'll get into Dune for like 5 minutes without spoilers. And then we're just going to dive head first.
About 5 hours worth of Dune Talk.
At least. This is a work day of Dune Talk.
Yeah. Should be getting paid.
So let's hurry up through what else we're watching.
Yeah, I watched the movie Phantasm last night. I've only seen like pieces of it, but I watched it because we've been going to the Alamo so much because there's actually been good movies, and they play that preview like for their horror season. They do all the horror movies, and they've been playing a lot of those. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this movie, and it was really fucking good.
You watched that at Alamo?
I watched it just last night on my TV.
Oh,
not at Alamo.
At home.
I should have watched it at Alamo, but yeah, it was. It starts out really slow, and then when it hits, it's like, oh my fucking god, like 211 with craziness, and it was all like, it's a fucking mess, the movie, because it was shot within a year. Like, it took a year to shoot because they had no money, and so it was all like 20-hour days whenever any person was available to shoot. So the editing is so like jank and non-linear, but it works because it makes it look like there's dream logic when there really isn't. It's just they didn't know what they were doing.
Real world logic.
Yeah, it was just like they had no clue, but it somehow works, and it's so like out there. Like, this is in the 70s, and this guy's making a movie about interdimensional portals and shit, and it's like so far super ambitious, and it's like, wow, I had no idea this movie was about this. I thought it was just like a shitty fucking movie, but it's actually pretty damn good.
What was it called?
Phantasm.
Oh.
Okay, so when we go, you haven't been going to the Alamo. That's right. You've been going to the other place, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
I go to the Alamo.
Well, I mean,
I
recently.
haven't recently.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I was like, it's not like I've never been or won't ever be again.
I can literally memorize everything they're going to play. That's how long I've been there. Been going.
And have they gotten your fries right yet?
Yes.
Finally.
Yeah, did you get it before
Okay.
Well, you watched.
I did.
You watched at home.
Yeah. Well, I got it. Yeah, at Dune, I got them correctly.
No, I finished Midnight Mass.
What'd you think?
So I watched the first episode like 2 weeks ago, and then on Sunday, after the podcast, went to the Halloween party, got pretty drunk, came back home, and then I woke up the next morning like, I don't want to do anything today. So
There were also no pics from the
Lauren-
Halloween party, by the way.
Oh, there really weren't.
there
Didn't
are.
see a
I
single
just
one.
haven't posted any.
Oh.
I won most creative costume.
Oh.
I got a trophy
Oh my god.
Why is it not our centerpiece?
Yeah.
because it's broken because I dropped it when I was drunk.
Oh, shit. That
Well, it's
just
not
makes
broken,
for
it
a
just
great
fell
story.
apart.
That makes for a great story.
Yeah.
But
Just the pieces on the table.
no, it's not like it's like 3 pieces. Like it's not
Oh.
broken.
Like my heart.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so woke up, didn't want to do anything. Lauren went to go ride her horse. I was like, I'm just going to watch all of Midnight Mass.
Lauren has a horse?
I know.
Yeah.
Can we pause? You can't just say that because we both reacted for sure. Lauren woke up and went to ride her horse, and we're just like,
How much? Is that like half your income every month for that fucking horse?
No.
I thought they were like $600 a month just to feed them.
really?
No,
No? Okay.
I mean boarding's expensive, but it's good money management.
Who the hell has a horse?
Lauren,
Where is the horse at?
Is she like a millionaire?
it's just a couple. I wish.
Do you guys also go to the country club?
I wish. It's a couple blocks from our house. Like it's like 5 minutes away. Well, you
Could
haven't
we
been to our
all
new
ride
house.
the horse one day
Ah.
individually?
You'd have to ask Lauren.
I'm
She'd be-
mildly
she'd be
afraid of
okay.
horses.
Lauren,
I have a weird fear of
we
horses.
have a request
I
to
did
make.
too, and then I mean I've gotten used to it, but
I always feel like they're gonna bite you out of nowhere. They just got that look of I'm gonna bite you.
he's got an attitude, but like
Oh, does
a charming attitude.
Aw.
Is it a charmingly weird attitude?
No, not like Shang-Chi.
I
But yeah, so did that and finished Midnight Mass. It watched 7 or 8 episodes?
I think it's 6. Might be 6.
Yeah, no, 7, because
Okay.
I watched 6 episodes straight. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I liked how they did the portrayal, not necessarily the vampires, but spoiler, if Abbie wants to watch this.
nah.
I like how it showed Monsignor, like he truly believed what he was doing was good, and like how they portrayed that. But then once he realized what is happening, is when he's like, okay, that's when he realized, like he was never like intentionally the bad guy. He was accidentally a bad guy.
Yeah, he legitimately thought
Oops, I became evil.
the vampire was an angel.
Yeah, we thought he was an angel because it saved him. and made him younger. So it was like this winged creature. When he discovers the angel, he's like this 80, 90-year-old man, and then he goes to Damascus as a pilgrimage, like one last mission, and then he gets lost in a sandstorm in the desert, goes into this cavern or this tomb, and then he sees this creature with wings, and it was like biting him, but because he has dementia, he's not sure what it was, and then that's when he realized, like, oh, wings, creepy, evil, or like not evil, but like scared, like, oh, it's an angel, and then he wakes up the next morning like super young, and so he thought he was being saved, and what it is it's what the way he described it, it's your peak you, like the way God sees you. And so that's why he thought it was an angel turning him, getting ready for eternal life. And so he truly thought that he was helping these people by giving them immortality to get ready.
The twist is, before you become a vampire, you have to die first.
Yeah.
So I forgot what he dies of, like...
it was like, no, it was the third episode when he dies.
Yeah, he dies, and it's just like, from...
it was a rat poison.
It was rat poison? Oh, I thought he died...
No, because what it was is...
I thought he died from blood loss and dehydration. Because he wasn't consuming anything, and he was constantly putting his blood into the shit they give you. The blood of Christ was actually the blood of him.
The sacrament. No, it was the vampire's blood.
I thought it was his blood too.
So the way I saw it is, so she got what was it? The chick's name?
Which one?
The evil one.
There's an evil
Not
chick?
the evil one, but
the crazy religious lady.
Yeah.
I just
like
call her
Debbie or something.
Yeah,
Beth.
Debbie or Karen. I don't know.
But she, I think the way I saw it was like in episode 3 when he comes in the door, like stumbling in the door and he starts throwing up everywhere. That was him dying from the poison. But that's why I thought. That's why I
didn't think it was the poison. I think he was dying of blood loss and dehydration. Because I don't know if they did the rat poison yet.
Well, because they did the rat poison with the dog in episode 2.
Yeah, but I don't think the dog become a vampire.
No,
dog just dies.
I think it's just to show, like,
no PQ
look, there's
of
rat
the dog.
poison.
But there's like 40 cats that die. It's even worse. No one talks about the cats dying. Only people talk about is this goddamn dog, but not the 400 cats that get killed in the first episode.
Do they become vampires?
No, they're just fucking floating onto the shore.
Do they sprout little bat wings?
So that'd be cute if they did, but they don't.
Is Schmitten going to be wearing bat wings next week?
Yes.
Okay.
Whether she likes it or not.
You mean when she doesn't like it?
Yes. But I thought he died of dehydration and blood loss. But anyway, you have to die before you become a vampire. And he also looks exactly like Nick Cave. I know I already said this. Not Nick Cage. Nick Cave. The musician. If you pull a picture of him, you're like, oh, that was him. But they look super similar. But it's a crazy fucking story. Like it's pretty fucking original. It's very Stephen King, but it is original.
Apparently, this was like his passion project, and he just wanted to get experience under his belt to be like, look, I can make a good scary show. And then he did this, and this one wasn't even like scary. There was like 3 jump scares maybe in the entire series.
That's why I feel like it's very Stephen King.
Yeah,
because it's like a world atmospheric scary more than just like get ya.
Because like
it's more eerie.
Really,
more
the only
haunting.
3 times I can think of is when she's using the bathroom and you see the 2 eyes and then it moves, but you don't realize it's eyes until it moves.
That's actually all the jump scares.
Oh god, that's horrible.
Well, it's like that, yeah. And then when
they're on the cat island,
when the sheriff turns off the, I didn't even think that was a jump scare because that's expected because I angled the shot.
Oh, true.
But then when the sheriff's turning off the light and he moves his hand, you see the face right there. He's like, "Oh fuck me."
Was that you doing that? Or
no, that was
that
him doing that too. It was like that's the exact reaction. Like fucking Christ.
Branching out. Rahul, thinking of him. Adam Kovic made a post yesterday, a video.
That. We're not gonna get into that, but yeah.
Wait, now we have to get into
that.
No,
it's just
it's a whole like not political, but like controversy
just
with like.
Give me the Spark Notes. By the way,
this is not the place.
I found out someone doesn't know what Spark Notes was, and I was like, trying to explain Spark Notes, and
I've never heard that term, but I assume it's Cliff Notes.
Yeah, same thing.
You don't know what Spark Notes is?
I've never heard that term, but I'm assuming it means Cliff Notes.
Oh my gosh.
The gist of it?
Yeah, just 2 different companies.
I think someone tricked you into saying Sparks instead of Cliff.
No, it's literally the website is sparknotes.com or whatever it was back then.
I think they made it that way so they can get sued by Cliff Notes, which was the paid one, and maybe Sparks Notes was the free one.
Probably, yeah.
Oh yeah, because Cliff Notes, they did the books too. Yep. They did the actual books. I remember I kept on trying to get those for high school. Mom was like, no, you gotta read the full book.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's funny.
Yeah, Midnight Mass is good.
Yeah, that ending got me though, like with Rahul and his son.
Yeah.
So they're Muslim, but his son is like kind of questioning his religion, because like it's a whole teenage angst thing. It's like his dad made him move to this island where he has no friends, and we're like they're the only two Muslims, and he goes to high school with a bunch of other Christians and all, and so he wants to go. He eventually takes the sacrament, and eventually he's the first one to kill himself willingly.
Oh gosh.
And he's like, I want to do this for God, like in front of his dad, like because it was on Easter, and like he's like, at this point he's kind of suspicious of what's going on. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna go like to protect my son, and this is when everybody's like when the whole drinking the Kool-Aid thing happens, and so he kills himself, but then he comes back to life, and then eventually. For like the next 2 episodes, everybody's a vampire killing people, and they're trying to. It's the typical horror survival movie or scenario, but then at the end, his son, as a vampire who's able to overcome this need to feed, they wind up praying one last time, and in
As the sun rises.
yeah, and so that's him killing himself because he's gonna fade because of the sun. But in the Muslim culture, you face the sun when you pray. You face the east when you pray, and the sun rises in the east. And so it's like,
so they're really
at this
just trying
point,
to get a good tearjerker.
yeah.
That's what I'm
At this
hearing.
point, Rahul's about to die. Like he got shot in the stomach, and so he's bleeding out. Like his son helped him drag him to the beach so they could pray one last time. And like he's on the ground, he falls over, and then his son fades away. And like I'm sitting there like.
I'm sitting there like that, and I'm just listening.
And it was just super well how they portrayed like that father-son dynamic, and it's like. Rahul's thing, like his character, the sheriff, I don't think he had a first name, Sheriff Hassan.
Yeah.
But his whole thing was like, it's you could learn about it, just this isn't your culture.
This also brings up one of Michael's life rules. Number 1, I think it's on
Don't
my
go to
top 10.
church.
No,
Number
don't
2,
live
don't go to the beach.
Don't live in a small town because they're susceptible to cults and there's always crazy religion people going on. One of Michael's life rules. Another one is don't ever trust the guy in a tunic.
A guy in a
Guy in
tunic?
Yep.
What about a girl in a tunic?
Girl's fine. Just never trust a guy in a tunic.
Link wears a tunic.
Yeah, don't trust
Yeah, do
him.
not trust. Oh my
Fuck
god.
no, I don't
He's
trust
breaking all those pots.
Yep. Yeah, never live in a small town because that's 100% a
Kakarot.
So
cult is
never,
gonna
I was say
happen.
never.
So don't trust Link. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah. He lives in a small town too, doesn't he?
Yeah, Kakarot.
Hyrule?
Very
Is it
small
Hyrule?
town.
Or what? We're talking about Link, the
Hyrule
guy
is
with
the
Hyrule's a
overall
kingdom.
city. Yeah.
I also don't know the lore of Zelda.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, Midnight Mass, great.
I also watched a movie I've never heard of in my life called Dead Time Stories, like Bedtime Stories. It's an 80s movie, and it does like these twists on like the Little Red Riding Hood, the Three Bears, and some fucking other shit.
Goldilocks, get it straight.
Yeah, whatever the hell it is. But
I
it
really
was
love-
super fucking weird.
Yeah.
It was not good, but it was like, man, they put a lot into this.
You ever see Ginger Dead Man?
No, that sounds
Yes.
horrible.
It is bad. It's in black and white too, but it's like it just reminded me of that just because the bad title.
Yeah, but I finished American Horror Story. The season ended. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but it's 2 different stories this season. One story is the town where you take the pills and become an artist, and the other one is off the fucking rails, awesome alien conspiracies. Like any alien conspiracy that is off the rails, like that's some crazy shit they put in this. They even have fucking Valiant Thor.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it.
He's in this, and it's the show's not good, but I love how in depth they went with the crazy conspiracy. There's reptilians. There's
Oh yeah.
there's
Oh, yeah.
everything in this season, and
If
it's
you're
just,
gonna go in, you gotta go in deep.
yeah, they go deep. It's like a love letter to all the crazy bastards who believe alien conspiracies.
I do
I-
need another show to watch.
I definitely recommend
I'm
it.
out of shows now.
It's not good, but
That's
if you
fine.
love the alien part, that's good.
Well,
Just
I just need a new work show because I'm out of shows.
yeah,
That's a
definitely
good one.
this season American Horror Story and the hotel one.
Well, I think that's the one I'm gonna watch.
Yeah.
For work is the hotel one.
I saw a casting call recently that was casting for people who have been their lives have been changed from an alien abduction.
Did you join it?
Did you go? Yeah. Where can I sign up?
Yeah, where can I want to sign up
I'll
too.
send you the link.
Just the experience of knowing that people think this has changed my life.
I'm going to say
Yes.
I'm a Valiant Thor, and I helped him negotiate the probing rights of Americans back in the 50s. I'm also a time traveler.
Every time you say the Valiant Thor, I think of the band.
Yep. Me too.
And I was
was
like,
like,
oh
oh,
yeah,
that's where
no,
they got the
that's a
name.
person too. That's also the coolest name of all time.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Another show I finished was Titans. The season ended. Great. Also, Batwoman, Batgirl. What the fuck is her name? Batgirl, yes. Looks just like Lauren. The actress playing her, like they have like the same face.
Mm-hmm.
And the actress only has one leg.
Does she have at least one horse?
I don't think she can ride a horse.
Ugh.
Can you ride a horse with one leg? I think you need both legs to.
It's easier just because you use your legs to hold
Well,
on.
just in the story, she gets killed, shot by the Joker, where she can't walk, and one of her legs get amputated. But they actually hired an actress that only has one leg, so they did that whole thing. And
Good for her.
great season.
Did you see
Highly
the
recommend it.
new Batman trailer?
I did.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna wait till we got to Dune so we could lead up to all the trailers that I saw, and the Batman was. I'm so torn because it's the same
Abbie-
cinematographer from Dune,
Yeah.
so it looks good.
Who was
but-
the cinematographer again? I don't remember.
I don't know his name. It's some guy I never heard of, but that trailer
Look
was
this
so
up.
fucking rad in the theater, and I'm so torn because I feel like it looks so good, but it also looks like a Nolan real world Batman that I don't like. I like gadgets. I like shit that can never exist, and I don't need an explanation about why it's
Greg
there.
Fraser is a cinematographer.
And I hope this Batman really leans in heavy into the fantastical more than the real worlding. But I feel like it looks like it's real worlding, and they're making every scene with Arpat is like he's like got a gritty, intense face, and I'm like,
It's very
Oh,
dramatic.
man.
I don't know
So-
if I like it.
I don't know if I like it either.
I'm gonna watch
and
it.
I was really.
I'm 1,000,000% seeing it day
Yeah.
one,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see it. There's no question.
but I am questioning it right now.
Yeah.
So he did a few
We're all
episodes.
gonna walk up and be like, it was the best ever.
Yeah,
So he did 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. He did
Uh-huh.
Vice, Rogue One. So he's done a
yeah.
lot.
Rogue
like,
One looks so good. It's the
Yeah.
best looking Star
Zero
Wars
Dark
movie.
30. He's done a bunch
Yeah.
of movies. Snow White and the Huntsman.
But by far, Dune is a mess. We're not yet to Dune.
We're not there.
Let's just get there.
Okay, so yeah. I mean,
What?
Abbie, did you watch anything since last week?
Who cares? Dune.
That's true. I did watch No Time to Die.
Oh, you did?
What did you think of it? Well, what's your thought on James Bond in general?
James Bond in general is kind of just like, oh yeah, like I'll go see it. I'm not really attached, so spoilers, I guess. I don't really care that he dies.
Well, we already spoiled it last week.
Is
Oh, I
there
don't
a
remember
movie
that.
called James Bond Jr. or did I make this up?
It's one
There's-
of your
there's
dreams
been a
that
lot
you
of
need to write
spin-offs,
down.
like-
Yeah, I swear to God, I saw a James Bond movie when he's young. It's called, he was like a James Bond like spy, and he's young. This is like from the 90s. And I remember a scene where there's like a scorpion and a woman tries to kill him with it, but it burns into a coin, and I don't know.
Maybe.
This is trademarked, by the way.
Just in case it wasn't already made.
And this is young Michael, so they're about to bang, so he goes into the bathroom to do something, and I'm like, why is he going to the bathroom? And it's like, do you always go to the bathroom before you have sex? And he was trying to get like, I don't know what the hell, I can't remember, it's like a can of something like, and I was really confused and scared about what was going to go down with sex at that age, because like, go in the bathroom and get a can? What's a can for? I'm assuming it was just body spray, so he doesn't smell.
Makes sense.
Oh.
But who knows
Can
what it
full
was?
of condoms.
Maybe he's going to jerk off with it or something, get prepped. Get the prep boner.
The fluffing.
Yeah, fluff it
There's a
up.
fleshlight and how to can.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get prepped. Like in Borat when
Just slapping it.
no
Or what was it?
did you see the new Borat, the second
Yeah.
one? What's his fucking name? That guy, the Giuliani, when they like get him and he's like he takes off his microphone, but you see him give a couple fluffs.
Oh yeah.
They get prep fluffs before he thinks he's gonna get banged, which they did lead him to think he was gonna get banged. So can you blame him for fluffing? I don't know.
That was a whole another controversy.
That's another
that we're not gonna
controversy.
get
I don't know
into.
if fluffing is a real thing. I thought it was just something they do for porn. Like people actually do this.
I guess. I personally have never fluffed, but
Just want to throw it out there.
Yeah. But I'm sure if you're like 90 and some hot girl is gonna bang you, you want to give a good presentation, because
It's called Cialis.
Yeah. But he was definitely given a couple preps. But anyway, what are we talking about?
Oh, I was just saying the only thing I really didn't like about No Time to Die was, okay, first of all, my first gripe was the bad guy, whatever his name is. He is way too young when the chick is older to be old enough to have killed her or her mom.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're the same age.
That should have been like a 20-year difference or something.
There should have been a very clear
or
difference.
aged him more.
And like, yeah, they should have aged him more because it just looks like he could have been her age whenever he, kidnapped her or whatever. So that was a big issue for me. Second of all, I feel like they kind of ripped Moneypenny off because they set her up a while ago to maybe be the new Bond. And then they got a new 007. I just feel like they
literally
ripped,
about to say, who the fuck is Moneypenny?
I really think they ripped Moneypenny off. But that's just my only opinions. Other than that, it was pretty good. I mean,
Well, I think Moneypenny's story is she was never a field agent.
I know, but I feel like
I
they
think
were
they
kind
talked
of
about that too
I feel
in
like
that movie.
Is
Sorry.
Peggy Carter Moneypenny? Peggy Carter Moneypenny?
Peggy Carter.
She could be. Anyway, I don't know. I feel like they set her up to be more important than she ends up being in the series as a whole.
Also, where'd they come up with that name Moneypenny? Were they like, money? Oh,
Penny.
there's a penny. That's your name. And like, really? Like, just go with it.
I'm sure there's something behind it.
It sounds cute, Moneypenny.
Because they don't even have pennies in England.
Not
It's like
no,
pence.
not like
You
yeah.
don't call them that. So it's really weird that they use like an American term to make a
Is
British
penny
character.
loafer an American term? Penny loafer?
I just think of the
Probably
coin.
not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's like if
Penny loafers are shoes.
I know they are, but the reason why is because you could put a little coin in that flap.
A penny? For what?
Well, back in the day, maybe a penny
Put it
was
over your
worth-
eyes when you killed somebody.
Yeah.
I don't
I think you
know.
use dimes,
Okay, well,
quarters, half 50-cent piece. That's what you put over someone's eyes.
Gold.
So whenever you kill somebody, make sure you put 50-cent pieces. I don't know where
50
you're gonna find them.
Yeah,
but
because
good
50
luck.
cent piece loafer is too much.
Yeah.
It is.
So they
It
changed
is.
them to penny loafers.
Penny loafers. Anywho, so that's my opinion on No Time to Die.
Cool, dude.
I think it's a good. we want to talk about it. We're talking about
Okay.
Dune. But we'll do like 5 or 10 minutes before we start getting into the story.
Oh, okay.
But we could talk about keeping it as spoiler-ish free as possible because this
Okay.
is a readaptation of a movie that was made in 84
Yeah, somewhere then.
and a book that was made in
65.
65.
Yep.
So there is going to be spoilers probably, and this is an incomplete movie.
Yep.
He even admitted it, like this is half the story.
Well, yeah, it's a series.
Yeah.
I thought it was a trilogy.
Okay, I'm also gonna say, producers, after seeing the first 5 minutes, how the fuck is it not greenlit yet?
What's Greenlit
Well,
mean?
The
did
sequel
you see-
has not been greenlit yet.
Oh.
They
But
hinted that it's already greenlit.
well, last I read, it said it was not greenlit yet.
Well,
but
it's not confirmed greenlit, but they said
this movie's been out done for over a year. And how the fuck after 5 minutes, how are they not like greenlight
okay.
it right now? This
Well,
movie rolls.
Wait. They filmed this movie before COVID?
Yes.
They
Okay,
started-
because the
they
spitting,
started,
there
like-
was so much spitting involved in that movie. I was like, there's no way this
And you could tell the
followed
COVID shots because they're wearing masks. They're wearing the gaiters when they're in the ship. They're wearing the mask over their face.
They finished filming before COVID.
I feel like that was filmed. I think that's a
They
reshoot.
started, I think, March 20. Maybe reshoots, but they filmed in March 2019, and I think they filmed for 4 months. So that would put it still 2019. But I remember reading something too about the costuming. They wanted to show off the suits, but a problem is the masks. You can't act with the mask unless you're Darth Vader. But it takes away so much from it, and so that's why they didn't have many mask shots.
But there is a whole scene where they're wearing masks inside of a ship when they're flying the grasshopper thing,
Dragonfly.
dragonfly. Yeah,
It was
towards the end.
called an ornithopter.
when
something
when
like
it's
that.
Paul and his mom and they're in the ship, they're wearing masks. So I'm thinking that's a reshoot because
That would make sense because they're closed capacity, wearing a
mhm.
mask. Or because they're in the sand too, because they were, I don't know.
yeah. Well, anyway, the cinematography is fucking masterpiece.
It's-
Like
It's
beautiful.
so
It's truly
fucking
beautiful.
good.
It's so
like
good at. They showed so much of this world and just the framing and it's the frame. If I could pick two of my favorite things was the framing of every shot that they did and the editing.
oh my
Yeah,
god,
editing's
the
really good.
the world, the real world, the look of it is like this dullish, not
Rainy.
dull. It's like very like dreary.
Yeah.
But the dreams are so bright and vivid.
Mm-hmm.
The differences is just like so fucking good, and like I'm sure so many people didn't catch that. Don't look at that shit, but it's just like
the symbolism.
yeah, the symbolism and the directing, the idea of doing that was so genius, and how the dreams aren't as they seem. It's a puzzle. Every dream sequence is a puzzle,
Yeah.
and I thought that was such an amazing touch. And I was like, yes, because when you saw the guy with the voice at the Fremen at the end, are we getting too far ahead? Anyway, I'm going for it. But when you first see the Fremen, it's like, oh, he dreamt about him, and he's gonna be his
We
friend.
thought he was gonna be like a leader.
yeah, and like
a
his
mentor.
bro, but he wasn't. He had to kill him.
So
But the dream already said you had to kill to be reborn.
yeah, you have to take a life to
Yeah.
gain yours or something like that.
And like you're like, oh, if he kills someone, he's gonna die. But it's like, no, he becomes reborn as a freeman essentially.
yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god, this is so good.
So I watched.
I think it actually said when you take a life, you take your own.
Yes,
so
that's what he
I think it's a
says.
premonition that he's gonna have to die.
Well, because he's
No,
supposed to be
because he does
Messiah.
die.
He is a
He-
Messiah.
well,
in this
He
Yes.
dies
stories.
as the prince
Paul dies.
Paul dies, but now he's a
eventually,
Fremen.
what is it? Muad'Dib.
Yeah,
is reborn.
that's who he's reborn
He's
as, because
reborn
now
as
he's a Fremen
Muad'Dib.
because he took a life. He's no longer the prince or whatever
He's
of
no
Atreides.
longer the Duke of Atreides.
Caladan, that's where it is. Caladan, that's the planet. And that was so fucking amazing. And just like when they go, any scene with the Harkonnens, I love so much because it's so dark. Like when they go into the Gaius Prime, looks so good. And then the Emperor's planet, where all those guys are tied up on the pyramids and all the blood's draining and they're doing the blood ritual for the Sarkars. That shot, that scene is so fucking amazing. It's the Drury planet where all these guys are tied to these pyramids.
They're just
and the
upside
blood.
down, yeah. But you had to like really look like, wait, oh, they're being drained.
It's the Sarkonnens, the guys with the guys.
There were some because I was watching it at home.
It was the rainy
Oh.
planet.
I was watching it at home, and there were some scenes that were very dark, and I was struggling to
Oh,
see.
that's why you got to see it in theater, because it was so amazingly. It was perfect. It was like, oh my god, I love this scene.
So
Even though I loved the editing, I have to make this note real quick.
There's one shot that was really bad.
retinas. My
going back and forth from bright
my
and dark.
brain was like, ooh, I love the back and forth. My retinas were like, I do not like the back and forth.
Yeah,
it was
between the
so
brightness and
painful.
darkness.
I didn't have that problem because I saw it in the theater, but
Oh, I had that problem, but I was okay because I think the lightness added to how bright the world is and how new the world is and
just
how
hurt.
disorienting it is.
Yeah, it still
because
was painful.
they're from this super
I saw it.
green and blue planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's covered in water. This cauldron is lush in
It's Endor.
vegetation.
they're in Endor.
Yeah.
And they go to Tatooine.
And then they go to this barren, sandy place.
Yeah.
And it shows like all the shots on their home planet is wide shots, showing off how green it is and how comfortable they are in this place. But when they go to, not what's the planet name? Arrakis.
Yep.
All the shots are super up close because they're super uncomfortable with where they are. They're not used to this, and so they're feeling isolated because they're not on this lush planet.
That's interesting that you picked that out, because I would almost think, to me, it almost felt like there were way more wide shots of Arrakis.
To show,
Yeah,
show
the
the
vastness.
to show
But as
the
far
world,
as like the
yeah.
communication.
But whenever they were talking or whenever to show people, they would always up close.
Now here's my question: did for Paul's character, were his shots also wide in his home planet, or were they close in his home planet and wide in Arrakis? Because I think he's way more at home in Arrakis.
I think it was both.
I
But
agree with you.
But that was the whole prophecy. Like he's gonna know what he's doing. Like he's learned it before when he put on the suit.
But I think it's also just because he's called to that. Obviously, he doesn't want to be the Duke of so and so.
Yeah.
This movie should have also been called Hot Dudes, not Dune, because there's so many hot dudes in this movie, and it's just like,
There
oh my,
truly are.
there's like one woman, and the rest is just like hot dudes everywhere. Like everywhere you look, it's like, man,
No, there's
How is-
3 women. They just don't matter. So that's why you don't.
it's a
remember
very
them.
it's a very male movie, but
I know.
it's also like not a masculine male movie. It's just like male movies. But anyway, yeah.
What I was gonna say
Hot
about
dudes.
when you were talking about dreaming in the puzzle, I watched an interview, a Vanity Fair thing where Denis Villeneuve breaks down.
Actually, there's 4
Villeneuve.
women, I'm sorry.
He breaks down the Gom Jabbar scene, the box scene, and he's talking about the dream sequence part of that. And he's like, I wanted to make it like a human, like how we dream. We know everything, but we don't know what connects them. And that's what I wanted to show, is like he has these pieces, but he doesn't know the key to the dream. And that's when he said it's like a puzzle. That's exactly what he was trying to go for. He also mentioned during it, he's like, I usually make movies for everybody, but this movie I've made for one person, me, my
Me.
13-year-old self.
He made it for me.
No, yeah, like this is everything I want in a sci-fi movie. Because like I made it for my 13-year-old self. I want to make my 13-year-old self happy.
That's good.
But like I was telling you earlier, the visuals, the tone is everything that
No,
I
this
wanted
is-
for the script that I
This
wrote.
is a 100%. This is the sci-fi epic I want.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is the script I wrote, the out of phase, was everything about this movie. Was like, God damn it. Even like the Harkin is exactly how I pictured the villains from my script that I wrote. And it was like, God damn it, you fucking bastard.
It's also like one thing I love is they did maybe 2 points where it was like clearly expositional scenes, but it's when he's just like listening to learn about the planet.
But that works.
Yeah.
They do the exposition
and
perfect.
they also front loaded it.
Yeah.
Just like, let's just get this out of the way. He's learning about a planet. Get over it. We're showing off some exposition. But then you have little parts where you don't really understand what's going on until you see it. Like, for example, when the city's getting invaded, you have the Harkonnen forces where it's like these 60 dudes going against 2 lines of the Atreides. Not
Gunny.
the Atreides.
Gunner. No, it's Caldans.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Caldans.
they are
It's
Atreides. It's
like-
House Atreides.
yeah,
That's what they all are.
The Atreides. So it's the Atreides soldiers, and there's like 20 of them maybe, and they're holding off these Harkonnens no problem. It's only until the
Sarkars.
Sarkar come in is when they actually have the issue.
Also, let's talk about the names of everything, and that is the best thing in the fucking world. Everything has a badass, rad fucking name in this movie. The planets, the people, like everything. This is so cool. It's like,
That's something that I really, really admire about what I think we would consider older novels, because they have a lot of care into their names, I think.
yeah, just you could see, like every movie stole from this book. Star Wars,
Star Wars
Oh,
stole from
absolutely.
fucking Flash Gordon,
Absolutely.
like everything, and like the costumes. Oh my god, the costumes in this movie.
The costumes are so beautiful.
Holy fucking shit! Like everything is so good. There's only 3 scenes that I disliked in this whole movie.
Which ones?
The first one is before they're going to Arrakis and they're showing the ship coming out of the water. That whole sequence of Paul dipping his hand into the water, and they play that fucking weird music, like this really intense building song that's it's so out of place, and the whole shot is just, why is this in this movie? Because it goes to him and it's in the morning. He's walking along the beach. He puts his hand down and he lifts it up from the water, and then it's fucking dark. It's night. Like one frame to another, it just completely changes time. And it's like, why is this here?
So, okay, I think I can explain that maybe, because it talks about that actually. Well, okay, I'll wait until you're done, because that actually ties into a point that I wanted to make.
Okay, that was the first scene that I wish they would have cut. The second is the Marvel humor part, where Jason Momoa is like, "Hey, did you get any muscle tone?" Nope. Does not fit the tone of the movie at all. It's just so weird.
It's supposed
at that
to
point.
show they're bonded.
I think
But the rest of the movie has none. It's. I'm also gonna tangent here. Everyone in this movie is like, "Thou art do not succumb to the acquiescence
Yeah.
of fear," and then Jason Momoa is like, "Sup, bros?"
I know. I was about
That's
to
why
say.
I think it's supposed
It's
to show
so
his
out of.
character.
I know, but it feels so out of place
Yeah.
from everything else. He feels out of place, but I love him so much in this movie because you really root for him. But he
Yeah.
just his acting. He tries to do that stagey Shakespearean, but it feels weird when he does it, and it feels more natural when he's more broy. But the broiness is really weird in the movie, and that's
I
another
think-
scene that I thought was weird.
Okay.
And then the third scene that I thought was weird, I forgot what it was, but there was a third one. Oh, what was it? Because now I'm just thinking of Jason Momoa.
Who isn't?
Fuck. There's one more scene that's really weird and out of place, and I can't remember what it was. But
Well-
those first two are like the reasons why it's not a perfect movie for me.
I see.
I can easily.
And
overlook
anytime
them.
there's music with
Yeah.
hi-ya,
Come on,
and
you
he's
don't like the
vocaling.
lamenting?
I
Even the
hate that shit.
subtitles was like
ancient
ancient
whatever.
lamenting or
Yeah,
something, and I'm just like,
I hate
man.
it so much.
I just love.
I love
that-
the music besides those.
I just love. I
pieces.
still love that in the group chat, Michael is like, Hans did the score, and I know it's gonna be a bunch of
And the
tribal
next
and
one-
world
the
sounds.
next text, like, this is almost the perfect movie.
No. He was like, it's gonna be a bunch of tribal sounds, and I just hate that. Literally, not even the movie starts. It's just like the Warner Bros. Symbols coming up, and it's like,
Yeah,
drums,
tribal
world
music.
That's
drums.
what I thought.
I
of
knew he was
first.
I had to take a clip of that. It was so funny.
I knew he was going to do it. I
Um,
knew it right away. It's so
Well, it
cheesy.
is also in the trailers.
But
No,
I'm pretty
just
sure it
the
was.
just the vocalizations was, and I knew he was
you
gonna,
don't
really
like
going to
the
lean
ancient
into it.
yeah.
lamenting.
Because every time there's any movie that has Africa, Hiya Soprania comes on. Anytime they did it in Black Panther, they did it in Lion King. Any movie that has Africa, they do that, and I
They
hate
do
it
the
so much.
cultural appropriate
Yeah,
song.
I hate it.
They do the.
I hate it. It feels cultural appropriation by using these themes in a movie done by an old white guy. I don't know. It's just weird. All the
I
synth
disagree
stuff
because this
is so good.
It's heavily based on Islam.
It is. Iraqis. They're stealing the oil, which is a spice.
That's no, the
it's all
spice
there.
is just oil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there. I didn't catch it till I was watching the movie and my mind got blown. I was like,
It's oil.
Iraqis? What? Oh my God, there's more in this movie than just sci-fi.
I mean, I'm sure he didn't
Yeah.
do it because Iraq.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
But
That's interesting. Well, I mean, okay, so first of all, Jason Momoa's character being a little bit bro-ish. I didn't mind his character being bro-ish. I did mind
when he
that,
shaved,
Okay,
Yeah, that was weird.
he looks weird.
he looks like weird as
He
fuck.
look like I understand why he's trying to separate his characters, but it looks weird.
It just looked weird.
I need that facial hair. It looks
Yeah.
weird. Thankfully, he still kept his
He
real
doesn't
hair,
have
but
a
Yeah.
super great jawline.
He just looks
It's
We're-
just
a dude. He just looks like a guy.
It reminds me of those videos where you see on the internet of like babies when they see their dads for the first time shaved and they're just like crying. I felt like
It
that.
took getting used to.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so I don't mind his character being a little bit bro-y. What I did mind was they tried so hard to make Paul as the actor. I don't know the actor's name.
Timothy Chalamet.
They try to make him seem young and juvenile by like running up to him and like giving him hugs and stuff. And I'm like, but his voice is clearly too deep to be that juvenile.
With the voice. When I first heard of the EQing
mean
they did
the
was
voice?
so weird.
I thought
Because they definitely lowered the pitch. They did something in post to his voice, and it took me like 30 minutes to the movie to get used to it. Because when I first heard it, I was like, this is fucking weird sounding. Because they definitely modulated his voice some way.
Well,
Are you talking about like
Not when
his
he's
voice total,
The
or
whole
when
thing.
he uses
The whole
the
thing.
voice?
Not
No,
just the
his
voice.
his normal voice, speaking voice is EQ'd weird and lower.
Well, I think he probably. I know I saw a lot of things about a lot of it was whispering, and so he probably did something to his voice
Because he has to go
too.
rough. He's going to go,
Yeah.
chop, 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 chop.
Well, it probably has something to do with that, and they probably tweaked it a little bit to make it like
They
more
definitely
full.
tweaked it. They definitely tweaked it, and it did make it seem weird.
It was weird because you can't have him running around as if he's a teenager.
Because he looks
Well,
like one.
Well, he's supposed
He
to be
looks
15.
yeah. I know, but his voice is a
Yeah.
grown man. And so it's really weird to have. It's just awkward for me to watch a grown man try to pretend to be 15.
That's just why I just suspended.
I remember the
disbelief,
next
so
scene.
Quit worrying about that. Like,
You
you don't run up to your bros like that.
I remember.
I do.
I remember
I
the
do,
third
so
scene.
that's why I
the
didn't
third
think anything
scene.
of it.
But let me forget it. Third scene.
What's the third scene before you forget?
When they're walking in the graveyard, the audio is out of sync.
Wait. What
Was it?
graveyard?
When him and his dad are walking in the graveyard
Oh,
talking,
that's
and it's
right.
a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
shot, it's out of sync. Because you see his voice
I
move,
think I noticed that
and
too.
the audio is out of sync.
I did notice that, and I did allow myself to pretend that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
I was like, this is out of sync. What the fuck? Everything.
I
Why would you do
didn't
this?
notice that.
Yeah, I can't believe someone got away with that.
Yeah.
It was like those awkward scenes in Friends where it's like you can see their mouths moving from behind,
Yeah.
but the voice isn't synced up.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a long shot that it was coming closer into, and right when you could see it was totally out of sync, they cut to the in sync shot, and it's like,
No.
yeah, it's out of sync.
All
So it was
right.
probably on purpose then. They probably cut like that
That
Oh,
cut was
yeah,
on
that cut
purpose.
was
to
on
hide the
purpose.
rest of it.
1,000,000%, yeah. Because
That
it's
is
a long
awkward.
shot, and they're slowly coming in while they're walking towards you, and then they cut to the side where they're in sync. Because it was clearly a different shot they
Yeah.
used, and it wasn't matching.
So I wonder if it was like digital or like a digital mistake or something, like where they couldn't fix it.
I just think it was the timing of the actors, and they just used a different take than the one they used.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's what I mean by digital.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing they could have done to
Yeah.
put it
Yeah.
into sync,
That's
and so they just had to
unfortunate.
cut before it was way too obvious.
That was the third scene. Sorry,
That's okay.
the voice reminded
But
me of it.
okay, so that for sure. So I want to talk about one thing I didn't like, but at the same time I want to answer the whole his hand in the water and then it cuts to night.
Mhm.
I can't help but wonder if that has to do with the whole idea of like he kind of is outside of time, you know, because there's a scene, I don't know if you guys noticed it or maybe it's just me, the scene whenever gosh, what's Momoa's character's name?
Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan, Idaho.
Great
dumbest,
fucking name. I love
dumbest
that.
but best name
Yes.
of all time.
Yeah, you're right.
That's one thing I want to say about names. We'll move
Duncan.
on to that.
All right, well, when
Well, that's about the world in general.
when Duncan is protecting them inside of that building or whatever, and there's the hallway, and he like 1v15s.
Yeah.
In the onslaught of people that comes in, there's like one guy that specifically looks like Paul's version of himself whenever he is fighting. There's that one scene where he's in the desert and he's fighting.
The dream, yeah.
The dream sequence, it looked like him, and I can't help but wonder if there's like, because it's the whole idea of like Paul is kind of outside of time, so I can't help but wonder if that's like a version of him coming back to try to stop things.
I don't
did
think
you-
so.
did you
I didn't
watch-
catch that at all.
Did you watch the first?
It looked like him.
Did you watch the first one or the first?
Oh no,
Dune?
the first movie, no.
It's not time travel.
The David Lynch one?
Well, thanks for.
It's not
First time
time
I
travel.
thought
No
that.
time travel involved.
No, there's no time traveling.
I'm gonna pretend there is.
You can.
you could do all you want, but I can tell you right now, it wasn't a version of Paul. It's probably just an actor that looked like him.
Yeah, I kept
Well,
on getting
that
the
was
Sarkar
a
confused.
mistake on out of all
See,
the.
that's one
casting.
thing that I didn't like is I think they should have done like the Calderans and the Sarkar looked too similar to me.
I agree.
In uniform.
In uniform, they
Like
look almost
I
the same.
didn't
No.
want to do it.
The Sarkars are wearing like a white outfit with helmets.
they're all wearing pretty like super
White,
similar
yeah.
outfits.
But the Kaladins, they weren't
They were
ready to
like-
put on their gear.
But I know, and so they're wearing like a light gray.
I thought they were just wearing the
I just
stim
wish
suits,
I just
still
wish,
suits.
Yeah, and so it was like a light gray.
I
just wish
do
there
think-
should have been a little bit more separation, and unfortunately, I think the only way to do it is to do like colors.
Yeah,
Like
I didn't
man
have that
green,
problem.
But I don't want that at the same time.
But I feel like
maybe-
all the Sarkars had that line on their face, so you
If
could
it
always
showed
tell
their
it was
face.
–
them.
Yeah, it didn't really show their face.
It kind of did for me. I didn't have this problem, but it's fine that
I-
you guys did.
I had a
Well,
little
I
bit
understood
of
who
it,
they were. I
yeah.
just think in like major battles, like when like an overhead shot, it would have been easier to point out who was who.
Yeah.
Like the Harkonnens were all black. Like that scene where
Yeah.
on the stairs and they're like defending all those Harkonnens and like, fuck yeah, we got this. And then the Sarkars fucking ninja behind them. And it's like, oh, fuck. But I feel like Gunnery, what's his name? Gunnery? Got like no like death scene. He just ran into battle and then you never seen again. I feel like he could have got like
how
a
did he
better...
die in the first? Well, no, because in the first one, doesn't he die super late?
On the Lynch one?
And, yeah, and the Lynch doesn't he?
I don't
die super late?
remember. I don't even...
It
That's
was
the
played by
Patrick
Sir
Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I don't remember him dying in it. But in this one, he just runs. He's like, with me. And it's like
Yeah.
that super epic, heroic thing. And they never seen again. And I feel like he should have got like a
I
an
love that
unseen
scene.
death. Yeah.
So, the two big things. One, the world building, or the world in general. And then the other thing I want to talk about is pacing. But the world in general, I love. This is like my sci-fi because it's like not futurism sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own thing.
It's still rooted in what we can relate to now. And it's they have normal names like Jessica, Paul, Leto. Like, it's not these weird abstract names where we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. So it's the future.
Duncan, Idaho.
Duncan. Like, it's these normal names that makes it more personable and it makes it more relatable. And it's something about how simple it's like a medieval futurism almost, because they don't have guns, because of the shields, and they don't have technology. Because this goes into the next part that I want to say is like, it just drops you in the middle of this world without explaining anything. There's still so much that we don't understand. Like, why is there no technology? The reason is because they got in a war with AI years ago. And so that's why there's no technology. Why can't they use guns? Because the shields, you have the slow blade defeats the shields. Like, little things where it's like, Denny trusts the audience to understand this stuff. Or, like, he thinks his audience is smart.
I
doesn't
really,
dumb
we
it
are
down.
seeing Dune.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really do appreciate that.
He doesn't dumb it down to be like, look, this is why this is this way. This is why this is with
He
A.
just
Am I the
puts
only
you
one that
there.
read the book?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
I read it in middle school, and I listened to the audiobook like 10 years ago, and I listened to a Dune podcast on Dune. So I really like Dune, and I was like,
One thing I do wish they
world
would have
building, yeah.
explained, though, is the, what do they call it, dude? The human computers. So, like, the guy, the general of the advanced party, you notice how his eyes roll back?
No.
Or his eyes were white?
they go white, and he talks on this thing. He's like,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da-da.
What it is,
Oh,
he's
I didn't
basically...
realize his eyes changed.
Yep.
Yeah, he's basically a human computer. So they take this drug. I can't remember what it is, but it makes him... I think it's not spice, but it's another drug that makes him, like, really activates their brain. And it's like this sub-religion that makes him incredibly smart. And in Lynch's movie, it stains their lips red. But they didn't really explain that. So I think they could have explained that a little bit
Oh,
more.
yeah, I didn't
Well,
even
the
catch that from this
earpiece,
movie.
the
Yeah,
little
but it's because the way he
earpiece.
thought is like that he did that quick math.
The
It was
dad-
embedded
the
in their
dad-
brain. Everybody had that. It wasn't just
This-
Oh, I was
him.
about to say
just
the dad
comms
had it
piece.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But also, did you notice he does this, and then another scene he does this?
Oh, I didn't
No,
catch
I
that.
did
No.
not.
But yeah, so it's like I think they could have explained that more. But overall, I just love how Denny just.
I
The world
feel like you
accepted.
got
Yeah,
that
yeah,
there
yeah.
was something different about that
Yeah.
Sure,
character.
yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
did. I did not notice his eyes though. but
Yeah.
maybe
It was
I
real
missed
quick.
It.
It was only one scene for.
It's like a
probably
slot
half-
machine.
Well, because it was when they're explaining how many caves there were, how many villages there were. I think it was
Oh,
that
yeah,
scene.
yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
"There's this many caves." That means, and he does a quick calculation. That means there's about this many.
Oh, maybe I just thought he was like doing something like that.
But yeah, his eyes rolled back real
Oh,
quick.
yeah, I
and then comes
definitely
back
missed-
forward.
To me, it didn't look apparent. Like it was clearly.
But that's why I think they
Not
could have
human.
explained it a little bit more. That
I
he
see.
is a human, but he's an enhanced human.
Mhm.
I see.
And then pacing, real quick. What'd you guys think of it?
I
I
loved
thought the
it.
pacing
I loved it
was
so
great,
much. I thought it
Because
was
I've seen so
perfect.
many people complaining about how slow it is. Like,
and people complain
But-
it's not fun.
What?
Yeah, I literally
Yeah.
saw that as like a play from a critic, that it wasn't a fun sci-fi
Yeah.
romp. And I was like, have you fucking ever heard of Dune?
so what I love about this is
We're ignoring them.
Yeah.
we
the
don't
first,
need that.
you could point out the acts in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You could be like, oh, this is where Act 1 ended. This is where Act 2 ended. Which a lot of movies, they try to do that, but I don't think it's as clear as it is in this movie.
Well, I like that this is clear, but it doesn't feel forced.
Right.
It's like a breath.
But I think
it's
what
like,
they do is with the pacing.
Yeah.
Because when they're on Cauldron, it's pretty this slow, normal pacing, where it's like, this is normal. Nothing's exciting. It's just another day. It's slow. They get to Arrakis. It kind of speeds up a little bit because you're getting this new experience. And so you're taking in more, and it's like cutting from this thing to this thing to this thing. And so you're taking in more, and so the pacing kind of speeds up. And then once the invasion happens, the pacing ramps up again because so much is going on. And then they use the pacing to their advantage to make it seem more intense when they're in the tent.
Yeah, it feels like you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like a lot of people think it's a slow burn. It did not.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole fucking movie.
It did not feel like almost 3 hours to me at
No.
all.
It didn't feel like 3 hours to me either.
And like that pacing, I think, was perfect pacing because they used the pacing to tell the story and to bring out the immersion of it. And that's why I wish I saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree.
What are they? The seats that rumble or whatever. What's that called?
Oh,
The
yeah.
4D
Yeah,
or whatever.
the D-box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do need that for when the worm's coming. You're just like,
a character we haven't talked about who was every scene with him is amazing. The Baron.
Oh,
How
yeah.
how he
Skarsgård
fucking
fucking kills
Dude,
it.
that character, every shot with that guy, it's so creepy and
it's
awesome.
very creepy, yeah.
And how he
That's
floats
just on
up.
the sound design alone
Everything-
needs to win every award.
The sound is so. That's what I was like. I made a post. You have to see this in theaters for the sound and to really encompass the cinematography because I feel like at home it's not there, but the sound is so fucking amazing. Except Paul's voice, everything in that one scene, but everything else. Those 2 points is the Baron. Anytime the modulation,
Well, it's like
that's
when
not
it's
always
modular,
there. It's
would
not always there,
activate.
and that's why it's so good.
When you could hear like the
Yeah.
like activate to make them rise up and all
Yeah,
that.
and just like, oh my fucking god. I was like, yeah, boner time. I had like,
His outfit was so creepy too. Like
exactly,
the really
and
long
I loved
train.
it so much.
it was, oh my god, it was so good. Like,
it was like a worm, little worm creature.
I just love how they gave there's like little things that they like little nuances that they gave to each house.
mm-hmm.
So,
Like Harkonnens is so dark.
Harkonnens are dark.
Yeah.
Like you could just tell that they're mean because
Spider pets.
They're just killing people with a friend. That was a human too.
with hands.
Yeah, it was creepy.
That was
I
a,
saw
that,
the
that
hands.
was a,
It's like a possum.
It had
spider.
real
It was a
hands.
mutated human.
Yeah, I didn't really know what that was. I just thought it was a weird spider
Yeah.
guy. Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man. It was the Harkonnens. It was the alternate reality of Spider-Man at the Harkonnens planet,
But like the
and they captured
Cauldron.
him.
So did you guys understand like the political balance, the politics behind him? You probably did because you know a lot more. But did you understand why the Harkonnens hated the Alderaan? Why everything happened that way? Why the Empire was like the Empire
Well, I
or the
understand-
Emperor told them to attack the Cauldrons, to attack House Atreides.
Well, I understand the reason why the Emperor sent House Atreides to the planet was to destroy them, obviously.
But do you
And
understand
then-
why he wanted them destroyed?
Because they were a threat.
So
think it's
the
been-
reason it is because Duke Leto Atreides has become so popular among the other houses because there's 5 houses. I have read a lot of lore,
Yeah,
and he's become so popular in the political sphere that the emperor feels like if he wanted to lead a rebellion, the other house would follow, except for like Harkonnen. And so that's why he pulled the Harkonnens off, so they go there, and then the Harkonnens could attack, and so basically they get attacked by 2 fronts.
Interesting.
And because Leto was such a charismatic commander and leader, and this is just why I think this raised Oscar Isaac's like overall performance in my book. It just made him a significantly better actor.
Yep.
The way he can go from a warm father figure to this commander, like in a switch. He literally did it inside the helicopter.
Also, real quick, the hair and everything is so timeless because they don't go with trends.
It's true.
It's like everyone has their
and then,
own
like
thing.
the hard part comb over.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just had like a really like, what is it? Like
Timeless.
regal hair.
Regal.
Well,
It was
that's
quite
what I was
regal.
going
Yeah.
with the nuances with each one. That's why I asked about the political, because House Atreides is like this regal house. Like everybody's looking up to them as like the leaders. They have all this influence in the other houses, and the Harkonnens are like this gross opposites, basically. And then
No one has hair.
the
They're all hairless.
You have the
they don't have
Sardaukar-
eyebrows or hair.
yeah, exactly. And there's Sardaukar, that are like this warrior group, and they're supposed to be like. I read once again into the fighting styles of each of them. They're supposed to be like this Mongolian. That's why they did the Mongolian throat singing or the throat singing as their language when he's doing the ceremony.
Yep,
and
I
that's
remember.
throat singing. It makes it into this warrior culture, and so that's why they would look harder and tougher than everybody else.
I thought they would try to make them look like the American military. Yeah, they have beards and long hair. That's what I got.
Yeah,
out of
that
it.
was. It's like a Mongolian thing. So I love how they did these little tiny things where you could tell the house apart by what the person of that house looks like.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And so it's just little things like that I just loved and cannot get enough of. It's just the world itself is just it wasn't too futuristic. It was a tangible future.
It was sci-fi. It was exactly what you want in a sci-fi movie, and it was so fucking good.
Here's
I'm watching it again tonight or tomorrow.
Here's my question. The eyes that turned blue from the spice. Was it the whole eye, like the white of the eye, or was it the iris?
It's the whole eye.
Okay, I couldn't tell. Again, being at home, this is the downside. I couldn't tell if it was like the whites of the eyes or if it was the iris and they just looked glowy.
Yeah, I think that's just the idea of the blue glow.
But like it's the whites of the eye, not the iris,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, it's all of the eye.
Okay.
I saw one complaint online too. Somebody complained about Javier Bardem's accent. He said it was too thick. Like
Who's
that
that?
was
Who was
he
that?
played the
Fremen leader dude.
yeah, I can't remember the actor's name.
Sittick.
Sith?
It started with an S.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one
one
that
that
came in
spit?
and spit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like somebody complained like his accent was too thick. Like, yo, homeboy, that's his normal accent. Like, what accent would you expect an alien culture to have?
That's awkward, yeah.
Also found a new goodbye.
It's probably the same. They're probably related to the people that said this was an uninteresting, not fun
Yeah.
movie.
I found a new way to say goodbye to people. Goodbye, human. I hope you live.
Yeah, I was saying that too.
That's what Schmitten says every single time you
Goodbye,
leave the
human.
house.
I hope you live.
Oh, the Bene Gesserits are so cool. That's such a cool name too.
They're doing a spin-off series
Uh,
called
cool.
Dune Sisterhood about the Bene Gesserit.
probably because there's no women in the movie. And they're like, oh, well, we gotta give them something.
Yeah.
But back to the
Don't you know women are just supporting characters in life?
They are definitely in the 65 Dune.
yeah, and that one, yeah.
Yeah.
No, back to the green light. So they haven't confirmed there's a green light, but they did a interview like 3 days ago or something, where somebody was like, "So is there going to be a sequel?" And like the response would be kind of like, "Well, you saw
There
the
could
ending,
be.
right?"
Oh, coy.
Yeah.
How coy.
Yeah, I feel like
Flirting
It's
with
like
us.
all but confirmed.
It's like, why? Why didn't they already make it? Like, that's what I was saying. 5 minutes into this movie, I was like, fuck yes.
Can we
I
also
love
just
this.
talk about the balls on Danny to be like, "I'm getting a part 2."
Yeah.
But
he could crowdsource it. Everyone would pay for it. Like,
Well, maybe not, because apparently his movies are really good, but they don't do well in box office for some reason. And I feel like this might be the first one that does good. But
that's
also,
why
apparently it's
they
been
put
getting, like-
Duncan in there.
it's been getting
for
like
that.
trending numbers, like Marvel trending, like on par with.
this
Marvel
movie's better than
movies.
any Marvel movie
Oh,
ever.
so
Oh,
much
hands down.
better.
Like,
Hands
100%.
Yeah, fuck Marvel.
For real.
What was I thinking? The green light. Oh, yeah. The budget was like 165 million or something.
Which
it
is-
wasn't outstanding.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
That's really
insane.
not bad.
That's pretty
considering
low for.
considering how beautifully mixed the CGI was.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of it.
Oh, there's like a couple really, really questionably CGI moments, like when the ship's leaving and the balloon comes up to make it
Okay,
float.
that was a
Looks
little
so bad. I was like,
it was a little
oh man, I hope this whole movie isn't like this.
it was a little awkward.
That's actually one of those scenes where I was talking about Oscar Isaac, how he goes from like this warm father to this fearless leader, where he's kind of talking. He's like when he's talking to Paul, he's not a
an
duke.
ass, yeah.
He's his father.
dad,
He's talking to him as his father, not as a commander or anything. But then you go into there, he's like, okay, well, like we need to get these people off. Like he goes into this commanding mode.
I guess to me it didn't really feel like that stark of a difference, but it fit. I'm not saying it wasn't.
That's what I mean. Like
It was seamless.
Like, it was
It
his
was seamless,
character.
yeah.
Like he can do both.
Because he's a charismatic
Yeah,
person.
it wasn't like he has two personalities.
Well, I guess the way I look at it in general is I think a good leader is kind of like a dad figure.
Yeah.
So I think that's why to me it just felt like he was just dadding in a different way. I don't know why I said
Dad
that.
logic.
Yeah. But it's like it going from like this warm, calm to still calm, but more intent behind what he's saying, or not intent, but more command in what he's saying.
Yeah, more.
Because like even in that scene when he says like you should not have done that, he doesn't yell at him or anything. He says it in like this like worried, commanding voice.
Definitely.
Like you can tell he's genuinely worried. Like, please don't do that again.
Please, if I could request.
Yeah, and so I like.
You mustn't do that again.
Please, son. But like my favorite movie that he was in before this was Ex Machina.
Who are we talking about?
Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah.
Never seen it.
Ex Machina.
Definitely Force Awakens for me. He is so awesome in that. I love
in
that.
Poe Dameron, yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
I loved him in Ex Machina, and now this is by far my favorite performance that he's done.
And Drive.
Machina? Are you saying
Drive.
Machina?
Ex Machina.
I always called it Ex Machina, but it's Ex Machina.
Isn't it Ex Machina?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Ex Machina?
I thought it was.
I
truly thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because it is about robots.
Yeah.
So logically, that makes sense. They just decided to pronounce it a different way because they're assholes. But, yeah.
Why do you think they made the mom a concubine? Is it because she's a witch and she's not worthy of marriage? And then he realizes...
I think it's politically.
No, it's the whole backstory with her. This goes back to why the Baron called Leto cousin. There might be a trigger warning in this. So basically, the Bene Gesserit do this. They're trying to breed the next Messiah.
No, I have something to say.
Oh, okay.
Before I forget, sorry. We also got gypped off on a dick shot, by the way, when he's naked.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Why was
I
he
wanted to see
naked?
Oscar.
Yeah, I want to see that wanger.
I think it was like vulnerability.
If you want to see his peep, go watch Scenes from a Marriage.
Oh.
I'm serious. He shows his...
Nice.
I'm pretty sure his...
But yeah, I think it's a show like vulnerability.
Yeah, well, we got gypped. It should have went directly into it, right into the crotch.
Actually,
like under the table, you just see the legs.
I have a problem with that scene actually.
Okay. Anyway, we can go back to what you were talking about. Sorry, I forgot.
Well, no, we have to talk about this.
No, because it'll lead into more.
Okay.
But so with the Bene Gesserit, what it is
that's
is
what a penis is supposed to do.
Lead into things.
You know.
This is penis related. So the Bene Gesserit are like trying to breed this next Messiah or this Messiah, which I can't remember what they call it. But so they go to the Baron, and basically he rapes the lead Bene Gesserit, the one that's wearing the veil, and
the older woman.
Yeah, and
with
she
the
gives
hat?
yes, and
Who
she
rapes
gives
her?
The Baron. Apparently, like the way it's described, like brutally rapes her, and he impregnates her, and gives birth to Rebecca Ferguson's character, the mother,
the mom.
Yeah, and so that's why she's a concubine, is because she's like this
bastardized child,
and
her bloodline isn't worthy enough to be married to the king.
No, it's because the Duke, they thought he would be the next in the bloodline to lead this Messiah, so they sent her to go have sex with him, and that's when they fell in love, and like, and then had,
but
they were never married.
Kind of Nazis.
I know, but he says in that scene, he's like, I should have married you. He's like, well, why didn't you?
Because politically, he can't.
Yeah, politically he can't, but she wanted to also. But there's even, I think in the book it says she could have by using the voice, but she didn't because she wanted to respect his willpower.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
I love the voice.
But either way, the way he says it, like, I should have married you, as if he like made a mistake, not like it was held against his wishes.
Yeah, I think so too.
So why?
Well, he could have.
I need to know why he didn't. If they don't explain this in part 2,
because politically, if you're a duke, you can't marry someone who doesn't have the same.
Yeah, it's because she wasn't royal blood.
Yeah, royal blood. That's what it is. That's why.
She wasn't royalty. The Bene Gesserit, it's like this religious cult, or not cult, but it's like the religious.
The world
power.
calls them witches. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a religious power in this world, and so he could because she's not royalty.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
But yeah, with the table scene, poison. It would have killed him. It would have killed the Baron. Absolutely. Even with the shield
tooth?
on. Yeah, even with the shield on, because it still goes
slow.
No, he flies up into the corner.
But everybody else died like that. Even around on the other side of the room, they all died instantly.
I think that he has.
It doesn't rise. The poison doesn't rise.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. He still died. Like, the people that were still next to him still died instantly, so he should have died instantly.
I think that Baron has some weird immunity to poison. Because in
his stats.
He's got an
buff.
amulet that
That ring.
50% resistant to
I
poison.
actually did like how his shield was his ring,
Yeah.
not his hand guard or whatever.
That
So
is
he's
kinda
kind of
cool.
flicked it in that noise, like the shield.
But in the
powering
David
on.
Lynch Baron, he is all full of boils and shit. Like, so I think
I think
he's
that was just to
been
make him look gross.
no, I think he's been poisoned before, and he has like a weird immunity to it.
That's when he started using the flying mechanism.
Yeah, and flew
Well,
up.
no, when he rapes her, she cursed him to make him so overweight that he can't walk, and that's why he has that mechanism on him to make him float everywhere.
And his skin is so bulbous and
Gross.
gross.
The way Denny described him too, he's like, I thought he was supposed to be a rhino of a man. It's like, that makes sense. That's why he looks like that.
I
Like
don't
with
remember
how big he is.
that. Why am I forgetting?
No, Denny
this?
is the director.
Oh, okay.
I
I
was
was gonna say,
calling
why am I
Denny.
missing these things?
Ooh, Denny, dooby-doo.
But yeah, I think he should have
I love
absolutely died in the
you,
throne room. If everybody
Denny.
else died that quickly, especially on the other side of the room, he should have died that quickly too.
Part
I
two
think he's
is
got
gonna-
a natural
Have you
immunity
seen
to
the
poison.
ending? There's gonna be an
Yes.
explanation.
I've seen the
I
ending
do.
actually in the first one,
I
or in the Lynch version.
I know in the Lynch version,
It was a little cheap. I'm
they
not gonna
use
lie.
the voice as a gun.
Well,
So I wonder
when
if
they're
they
in
do that.
Well, because he weapanizes the voice.
Yeah. I wonder if they're,
But
how
that's
they're
in
going
the
to do
second
that.
half. That would be
And if
the
it's going to
second
look stupid as shit.
Wait. Does the Baron have the voice?
half.
No, only
Oh,
only
okay.
Paul and the
And his
Benny
mother.
Just from
Gesserats.
Okay,
that
okay,
that
okay.
bloodline.
Yeah.
Is what's the voice?
But anytime in a movie where the voice is a weapon looks horrible, and and it always looks so fucking stupid. Like whenever it's always women who have a scream attack, and it always looks so stupid. And I don't know how they're gonna make it not look stupid.
Well, wasn't
If they
You
it?
do
mean
it.
when you mean they're actually screaming like their face,
Like in
or like the way
It'll
the
be
like
sound
in
wave.
waves look?
like in Carnage, when Scream screams, it's
And
just
you
like
see
it looks
everything
fucking
fuzzy.
stupid. Yeah,
Well,
it's just
didn't they do it in Lynch's? Like he'd do it to the stone, and it would explode or something.
yeah. He had like a little gun, and he'd be like, "Brah,
That's what it
brah."
was. It was the gun that would shoot the
Yeah.
scream.
No, it'd be like attached to it, and he'd be like, "Brah, brah," and
Yeah.
it like shoot out. Literally, that noise is what
Yeah.
they made, and it's like that's some dumb shit
Yeah,
right there.
it's gonna be interesting how they do that.
Yeah.
They're gonna make it good. They made everything else good.
Yeah.
It
The
took.
oh,
I'm sorry.
sorry.
I know they were trying to. Whenever Paul's having his little training, his sword training. I know that was their way of teaching us, the viewer, how the shield works. But the training did not make sense to me. So I was like, it took a long time to realize what the blue and red meant, because I just assumed red meant it was close to lethal, not actually lethal.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Like
out
I
of
thought it was like a warning sign. That's why, like when you put the sword.
I think that's
One
what
way.
it is.
It is a
like,
warning
it's
sign.
saying like you're about to die basically, and if you go any further, then you kill them.
But there were moments
It's just a visual
when they're
cue for us.
fighting, and it's like you see them flashing
That
red
was
and
one
blue.
of the continuity errors. I thought is when, what's his nuts? Idaho is fighting in. Duncan. I always want to say
Duncan.
Dakota, Idaho.
I know, right? That's what I feel like his name should
And
be too.
Duncan, when he's fighting in the hallway or in that room, it turned red so many times. They're all like super attacking super fast, so it goes against what they're saying.
because-
I
It's
think
slow
they're supposed to
strike.
show that there are all these moments where he was about to die.
No, I think it's showing because
No, because he was getting struck down.
he's
it would still go.
galactically renowned fighter.
Yeah.
Because they were like, they got Duncan, Idaho, and Gunny. We can't beat them. Literally, the Harkonnens and the
Yeah.
Sarkars were afraid of these two fucking guys. And literally, they, like you said, 1v15. And if he's just so skilled, that's why he can kill them that fast.
Yeah.
But
That's what it's showing. That's
But
why he's killing
that
people
would
so
still
quick
go
with the
against
reds.
the technology that where only a slow weapon can go
But I feel
through
like
the
he's
shield.
so skilled that he
see now,
does
and
it.
I didn't know
Unless
it was
he,
a slow weapon that was.
Unless
Yeah.
he's so controlled with his movements that he could slow down right before he gets.
That's
to
what
the
I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's so skilled. Him and Gunny are so
I could
skilled
see
at
that,
this
but the other,
fighting.
I mean, I guess maybe the Sarkar would be just as,
Yeah.
not just as skilled, but they know how to control fairly well also.
All I'm saying is the training that Paul was doing, where he was trying to basically that was their way of teaching the audience how
Yeah.
the shield works. It didn't make sense to me, so I was just like trying to put it together throughout the movie. I'm like, okay, maybe the blue represents safe, red represents truly fatal, or it's a warning, or
Yeah, that's
is
what it is.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
literally a warning.
Yeah, it made
But
sense.
that
to
doesn't
me,
make
like, no
sense to
problem.
me, because whenever he's holding out his hand, he's like doing this, and it's blue, and then he lays it flat and it's red.
Because it's
But
going
then-
through the shield.
But then
It doesn't mean you're going to be
yeah.
hit. It means something is going through the shield
It just means
slowly.
It means the shield is being
Deactivated
So then
slowly.
I think that what they should have done is like
because they're fighting, and then a
It's
couple minutes
because
later,
the
Gunny
reason-
says
the reason why
the slow
it-
sword
oh maybe I
kills the
missed.
shield.
Yeah, it literally says that in the movie. The slow sword penetrates the shield.
Yeah.
I thought he
Because then
was
the bombs coming down on the ships, they'd go super fast, but once they hit the shield, they'd slow down to go through the shield, and then they'd explode.
I must have just missed that moment, probably because I was still just thinking about how I
Because you watched it at home.
It's because
You could hear all of it in theaters.
It's because he turns the blade, and I thought the turning of the blade was what was important.
No, the speed.
And I didn't realize, because when you change too many variables at once in a short exposition moment, it can get confusing. If they were to do that, I think they should have done it like fast but flat, and then slow and keep it flat, so that way you realize it's a speed, not an angle thing.
I think it's because you didn't pay attention.
I think
it was
you could
fine
be
for
a
me.
little right.
I had no issues because they even fucking said it.
I think
they
this
literally
just goes back
said
to
it.
I thought he was also just trying to make a point that you're rushing. You're not taking your time.
Well, that's exactly what it is, because he is rushing. Because you got to go slow to get to the shield. I mean,
be
you're
very precise.
You're
in
literally
your attacks.
you have the answer. You're just not putting it together for some reason. Like you literally said
I
what
don't
it does.
know, Michael. If I knew,
overthinking.
I wouldn't be the way that I am.
But you literally have the answer, and you're somehow not connecting it, even though you've said it like 3 times what it does.
That's also a character building moment, because you learn something about Paul in that scene. You learn that he's a brat.
Yeah.
You learn that he's got this attitude
And
for
he's
no
a
reason.
badass fighter somehow.
Well, from years of training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
from
you,
years of literally the best training in the land.
you learn that he's a brat, and he's
A little bit,
has his
yeah.
attitude with him.
I just felt he was broody more than bratty throughout the whole movie.
I think that's the actor.
Oh, he's great. I love him in this. So everything worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Costuming, all black,
Gosh, the costumes were truly
super
beautiful.
goth. It's the gothest movie ever made.
So in this interview, Denny was talking about the Jabbar scene, and with the veil, she originally wasn't supposed to have it on the entire time.
Who?
The
girl.
The
who
Bene
was left-
Gesserit,
Oh,
Oh.
the black
Oh,
veil.
yeah.
But then he saw it on camera, like, oh no, we're leaving this, because
It's
all
way
you
too
could see is
cool.
her eyes.
It's very cool.
that
Which-
box scene has been done so many times in so many movies. It was in Phantasm. They literally
Was
said,
it?
"Fear is the mind killer." They literally do that in Phantasm.
But so what he was talking about is like, it kind of. He's like, I put a mask on one of the best actresses in the world, because it, like, kind of.
Who's the actress?
I can't remember her name right now.
Some old
Charlotte
bitch. I don't
something?
know. Who cares?
Apparently, she's the best actress in the world.
In
Have
his
some
eyes.
respect.
It, like, the way he described it is like, it made like this kind of like religious shadowy figure.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like, it
definitely.
made her like more intimidating,
Oh, absolutely.
because you could only see her eyes.
Yeah,
And
no,
it was
it's,
like, yeah,
it's-
like that. Because it was him breaking down the scene. Like, he went into the editing of the voice and why he did the POV of Paul. So what they did, they kept a fixed focus. So do you remember that scene?
Yes, with the box.
Do you remember how it started when they used when she used the voice and went to the POV? So what it was,
Whenever she was,
it
like,
shows his POV
kneel.
to go quickly, and then it shows her, and then it shows the side view of him kneeling.
Yeah.
So what they did, like, made it super dark. They turned down the lights during the shot,
Ooh.
and they kept a fixed focus, or they kept the focus.
Mm-hmm.
So they pushed the camera out of focus to make it seem like you
being
go into this
warped.
narcoleptic state
Ooh.
where you just wake up and you're like, oh, what is going on?
That's really cool. Yeah.
And so what he did, he changed he messed with the focus and messed with the lighting, and so that's why he wakes up. He's like, okay, what just happened?
Yeah. It was really cool.
And that's
It
a
was
way of showing.
effective.
That's why he wanted the edit to be disorienting,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted it to be really weird.
I'm also gonna say Paul did like a 2-minute session of a tattoo. When he put his hand in there, it's like, dude, I've sat like 4 hours for a tattoo. Come on.
Well, you could cut to Michael. Fear is the mind killer.
Well, I mean, that's literally what you're doing. You're getting a tattoo. You're literally just sitting there like, all right, this hurts a lot, but I'm gonna push through it. It like builds you up to
That's
be
called
like strengthen your
adrenaline.
mind. You know?
It's called adrenaline.
No.
I
After
think
4 hours, it
that
runs off.
That pain is yeah, it does.
Well, that's why it's addictive, isn't it?
I've only
Isn't that
had
why?
one time where I had to take a break on a tattoo, and it was because it was on my side.
Yeah, my side hurt.
Yeah,
Really
that's the
bad.
only time I ever took a break. But anyway, it's like the
I
same
don't have
thing.
a lot on mine though.
We're what?
I don't. But I might get a little baby tattoo. I'm just
Oh.
gonna want to see how it feels. Like a 30-minute session.
It's just
Oh.
the heart with
Terrible.
the mom through it.
No, the one on my side was like 3 hours for some reason, but it hurt so bad.
But no, he just
Sounds like
the
hell.
way he described me is like, I mean, that pain is gonna be a lot more than getting a tattoo. It's
I
like
don't know.
this-
It seemed like it was the
Well,
same
she
thing.
said she potentially was going to kill him, so I imagine it's worse than a tattoo.
Yeah. Well, like you guys should watch this interview. The way he described that scene.
Eh.
It's
I definitely got it. Like, I definitely understood the reason why they did that is to make you feel sick. Like, you just got manipulated.
well, I mean, like
physically.
with the pain. Not,
Oh, the
not
pain,
That,
the
yeah,
pain.
it's like
I
it's
thought you
supposed to be a
meant
lot more painful than a tattoo.
I don't know.
Obviously.
He seemed like
Although-
he was getting a tattoo.
She does kind of slap him in the face afterward and be like, it's just as if sand took off a few layers. Like, calm down.
You little bitch.
Yeah. It was interesting though, since we kind of mentioned the whole like in the 60s and women's rights and whatnot.
Mhm.
But the moment when the Bene Gesserit lady, she was like, there's more than just the father's bloodline you have to consider.
Mhm.
I was like, wow, that actually is a little
Yeah.
bit forward thinking for that time period. Because
Yeah.
it's true. Because
Well,
even
you
in like
mean
genealogy,
10,000, 8,000 years in the future.
well, for the moment it was actually written in real
Yeah.
life. Because I imagine that was something from the actual book
Well, he
and not
was-
something they put in for just
In this
for the
interview, he
movie.
was saying he like the book was the Bible. Like if he wasn't if he was unsure about a scene, he'd just go and read that scene again. He's like-
Controversial statement here. This movie was what he wished the writer of the book wished it was, because this movie's so much better than the book.
Well, that's what he said. He was
A
like,
million times better than the book. Sorry.
again, that's what he said in this interview. He's like,
Oh.
I wanted it to seem like Frank was here
Hmm.
doing this movie.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Because this
Well,
is
he's
way better
dead.
than the book. Way better than the book. The book is kind of boring. This movie fucking rules. And Frank Herbert was like, "Oh man, I wish my book was as good as this movie." Fuck.
That's
Well,
so
we
funny.
see who likes movies over books, clearly. Yeah, he just kept on they kept on going back to the book and rereading the chapter, rereading the scene and all that. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've read it so many times.
Good. That's called research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we need
That's
that.
what shows when your director loves what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I
And-
feel like he got the story. Villeneuve got it more
Yeah.
than Herbert did.
Well, sometimes
Even
that,
though Herbert wrote it, I feel like Villeneuve really,
Well, I
Got
don't
it.
think
Well,
that. I
you
think
see-
he captured the magic in it.
yeah.
Well, but I think there is a little bit of that kind of like that like whenever actors play a character for a really long time and then the writers are like, I'm writing this, but you know the character better as the actor.
Well, it goes into like this.
I feel like it's a similar.
It's living the character rather than
Yeah.
reading about the character.
And so I feel like there's a similarity. It's like even though he wasn't the author, in a way, since he's making it come to life, he does have more of an intrinsic feeling of what it should be.
Yep.
It's like you are living it in a way.
That's what I mean about mediums.
Yeah.
Like people wanting everything to be the same as the book or something. And this
It's-
was so much better than the book.
that's what I mean by he
Sometimes,
captured the
though-
magic and he was able to bring the writing to
Yeah.
life in a magical way.
Yeah. Sometimes though, actually I would say a lot of times the book is not done justice. Like
Most of the time,
in
it's not.
situations where the author is actually a master of what they're doing.
Like every Stephen King movie.
There you go. Like that's a really great
They've never had like a good
That's
one.
a really great point. So it's like if the author is truly masterful and you don't live up to that, it's a problem. But if the author, I haven't read the Dune books, so I can't say if he's a master author or not, but if it's good but there's something missing and it's like it's calling for someone to pass the baton,
The book is very sci-fi,
Yeah.
where
I
the
know.
movie is much more digestible. Because even though it is sci-fi masterpiece, it just is better.
That's,
Yeah.
I
that's what I
think.
mean. There's just something about it that
Yeah.
makes it so much more tangible and understandable. Like it's like I could see the future being like
Yeah.
that, where it's not over the top with like look at this angular like shit and all. Like
The only thing
there's no friction in space. It doesn't matter if there's angles on a ship or not.
The only thing that was a little bit weird is whenever he's learning about I can't remember what he's learning about, but he's reading the book and he's also watching the hologram.
It's when he's learned about Arrakis.
Yeah, it's like I understood the reason why they were mixing the mediums between like books and just a hologram is I guess because they're trying to show that the books are like ancient history that he has access to by being wealthy.
So no, in this world, technology is gone.
Then why does he have any technology?
That's the most technology. Okay, computers.
rich.
Computers are gone. Artificial intelligence is gone. But that's the most technology they have because this goes back to the exposition that they didn't explain is that there's a war with AI, and that's why they got rid of it all.
If that's the case, I don't see why they would have any.
Because I think it shows wealth.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with that.
But
too.
even still, I understand that you're wealthy, but if they've gotten rid of it all, even the wealthy wouldn't have it.
well, they still have technology with the
collecting.
shields.
It's just like
I know.
it's
They
like
don't-
collecting old guns and shit. Rich guys collect weird shit,
Oh, I guess.
and then now this is like some
I
weird
don't think
archaic
it's
technology.
a technology, but I don't think it's not a computer though. It doesn't have artificial intelligence. It's just a projector where he puts in a disc and it plays it. Not a disc, but he puts in something and it plays it.
It's like if you have a projector that's going to play audio, you could have a projector that prints like shows you words. Like it just seems like the book and the projector are
I feel like he's also
weird.
he's listening to it while reading about it because way people learn can be visually and
yeah,
by videos,
it just still.
or maybe it comforts him. We don't know.
It seems like it just seems weird. If
It worked for
they're
me.
trying to
Yeah.
have the hologram for futurism, The book
It was like
made it weird.
for me. It was on the same level of technology as a shield or as a ship. It wasn't anything crazy.
That's why I thought the book was weird. Unless they're trying to make it seem ancient, because it seems like if you've got shields and any type of hologram in your world, you wouldn't need books anymore ever.
You got to think of it from the directing standpoint that they have to have exposition.
Without
So they're showing the projector
talking about it.
explaining, so it's not just doing a voiceover while he's reading a book.
No,
So
no,
now it's
I'm
the-
okay.
that's
I'm
all
okay.
there.
I'm okay with him listening to the
It's for the audience. That's what the projector's for.
Oh,
It's-
I understand, but it just seems like if that's the case, you don't need the book.
I
You can
do
just
that.
have
I
him-
read books and have it on TV all the time.
I'm just saying, in the world, it seems weird to have books and projectors.
I
It
don't
seems like
think it
the book
does.
would have been.
For
Book-
me, the projector was the weird part about that because everything else it shows all these books, and that's like a random piece of technology. is
That's
the
what
weird
I'm
thing.
saying. It's either a random piece of technology or a random piece of archaic knowledge that we use in these days. Like even our world now is outdated. Books are outdated.
I just think it's something that Paul has. That it's like his thing that
Well,
he has.
because he goes in before that scene is when he's in the library doing the box. He's in
yeah.
the library, and so that's why it shows like technology is rare.
That's
And I
why
think it's showing that
the-
he's wealthy.
That's why I think yeah, that's how I look at it. It's either way he's wealthy, because if books don't exist anymore and he has access to books, it's because he's wealthy, or if holograms.
But that's
don't-
where it's like that's some more exposition could have been shown about why there's no technology.
Yeah, that's just.
I
My
think they're
only-
saving it for part 2.
That's true.
Because I don't think they don't really talk about technology in part 2 though.
You haven't seen it. Hasn't been made yet.
Okay,
They might.
they don't really talk about it in the second half.
They might.
They might.
We'll see.
Do you think they're going to bring back Sting for the second part?
They talked about doing a cameo.
I wish that'd be so amazing if they had Sting somewhere in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sting was in the first. He's like really iconic.
He's Dave Bautista's
no,
characters.
no. Oh, cousin. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
they're
cousins.
brother.
He's the other nephew, the Baron's other nephew.
Fade.
And then he fight, because him and Paul fight at the
Yeah.
end. Spoiler.
Yeah. He's like super. That's what I associate Dune with more than anything is Sting, because the Police is like one of my favorite bands ever, and Sting is in the movie, and it's just like Sting is so good in it, and he's super ripped for like 80s guy,
Yeah.
and he just looks crazy, and he actually does I think a good job. But
What did you guys think of the last fight, and like how it showed the two different cultures literally clashing?
Are you talking about the fight with Paul and Jameis?
With Jameis, yeah. Because it was literally two cultures clashing. Because it.
I think they kind of honestly disrespected Jameis. Like, I understand Paul is supposed to be an amazing fighter. I think they should have made more of a fight.
what Jameis did.
It
get
kind of
the-
looked like Jameis got. It just looked
Just
like
manhandled.
Yeah,
Well,
manhandled.
he was, because look
Yeah.
who's training him. The best fighters in the goddamn galaxy, apparently.
That's true.
It's. I don't think that scene. While it isn't like there was a lot of action scenes that were kind of just like thrown in there. Like there should be an action scene here. Throw it. I don't think that scene was about the action. I think it was about what Paul was going through. Because this is going to be the first time he killed somebody. It was a different.
Yeah.
He was going to become the new
I know.
Muad'Dib.
That's why I just feel like they should have, they should have showed the culture of, like Jameis's fighting style. I just feel like it should have been. It just something was missing. It was too.
Maybe too fast.
I feel
maybe it
like
was too
Paul
fast.
should
Like
have
it was
whooped
just
up on
over
him
too
even
quickly.
more. I feel like Paul should have just owned him completely without even getting
Not
scratched.
only, yeah, but and then Paul didn't even he didn't really have a moment where he was like, I'm about to kill a man for the first time. When
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he
was
did.
like,
He did it
yield.
multiple times when
He
he
was
kept
like-
on telling him to yield, and then
Well, there was that, but I don't know, just something was missing for me, and I can't put my
I
finger on
agree.
it.
There was. I think it could have been a little bit longer, but that's why I say I don't think the scene was about the fight. It was about what Paul was going
He was
through.
putting his dreams together that we were already seeing. Whereas Zendaya stabs him with a knife in the side.
It still felt like there should have been a moment where Paul was about to be defeated, and he was like, "No, I really got to do this. Is like it's for the mission."
But
or
doesn't
But
whatever.
that's
make
not
sense
his
to do that.
personality. That's
Yeah.
not his
It does.
character, though. His
It's-
character isn't a bad fighter. His character's a great fighter.
Well,
Yeah.
of course, his character's a great fighter, but
So then why would you show
Why would he lose?
Yeah.
not lose, but just more of like he's not really fully hearted committed to it because he doesn't actually want to kill someone.
But he also defeated Gunny multiple times, and
Yeah.
so it showed that early in the movie. So it wouldn't make sense for him to almost lose to this random fighter, because they don't explain that they're amazing fighters. They just explain that they're
She
guerrilla
said
fighters.
She said that he's an amazing fighter.
Yeah,
like, this
to
is an honor
them.
for you.
Yeah.
But they've never seen goddamn Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah.
130V,
Well,
whatever.
actually, they have seen Duncan, Idaho.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they
he
met
was
with
with
them. That's
them.
right.
I don't
But
know.
th-
Just
that-
something was missing, and I can't put
I
my
think-
finger on it.
I
think it's
disagree.
because it's too formulaic where you expect
Maybe
the
it-
hero to be this underdog when Paul is not an underdog.
I understand that. I do. I understand he's not an underdog.
You can also see the goddamn future.
and
Yeah.
he sees what can be. He sees multiple
Yeah.
versions of the future.
I still
That's with
just
the spice.
feel like something was missing. I don't know what it was.
A dick shot.
Something-
Oscar Isaac's.
Just like a flash scene, like Fight Club.
yeah.
I don't know. Something was missing, and I can't put my finger on it.
I disagree. I love that scene, and I wish that Paul would whoop the opponent even more, because that makes way more sense
I
than
don't
him
think-
even being touched.
I don't think it was whooped. I think it. I just think it could have been a little bit longer. Like there
Maybe
could have
it
been.
was the attitude of Jameis that bothered me. There was some attitude in Jameis that didn't. Something felt out of place. Like at first, he's like.
I think it could have been more tense before the fight.
I feel like it was
like
forced
they kind
for
of
him
like started.
to feel like he needs to fight him. I feel like that felt really
that
forced.
maybe that's what it was. The whole situation felt way too forced.
Yeah.
And so that's why it almost seems like Jameis. They were leading Jameis up to be like a friend. I understand it's because like his visions weren't quite.
Well, that's the thing with the spice.
sure.
You see versions of the future.
And I get that, but it's just like I felt like they really made Jameis seem really mysterious, and then when you meet him, it's just like he's just like angry for
The spice
no
doesn't make you
reason.
see the future. The spice makes you hallucinate,
no, because
which adds to his future ability. He can already see the future.
Well, you see the navigators. They could when they travel through space, they could see a little bit of they could see a little bit of the future. And
But
so
that's-
it's versions.
but the navigators are a different thing. But
that-
they didn't
it's
really
still because of
touch.
spice, though.
The spice enhances.
And it enhances Paul.
But it doesn't make him see the future because he can already see the future.
No,
It helps him.
It helps him. It
It helps
enhances
him
him
enter.
more.
Yes.
I think if anything, it helps him enter the prophetic mode, but he already has that obviously
Yeah.
even before he
Right,
gets
I'm
to
just correcting you. The
Arrakis.
spice doesn't make him see the future. Paul already
Yes.
sees the future. It just
It
helps
just
it.
enhances it.
Enhances his.
More. But yeah,
I think it-
navigators.
What do they call that? The force. It enhances his the force. It's the fucking force.
I still just feel like that was a really weird. I still just feel like Jameis's character when you meet him
It's too much of a
is
dick.
it's a letdown from how they build him up to be.
But that's the
That's the point of
that's
it.
the point of
But
it.
I don't care because they don't do that. They don't do that with anybody else that he comes to see. Like
Right, because
his
it's
love
not part of his
life girl.
future.
The girl that is like, I'll give you the sword.
That's Zendaya, who they build up a
Okay.
lot in this movie.
They
Which is in it
build-
for like 3 minutes.
I think she was on set for 4 days.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is clearly she's going to be more important later, but whenever you meet her, it's very akin to what you see her being. Like it's his love of his life basically. But whenever you see Jameis, it looks like he's going to be really really like a sage type character. He's going to teach him a lot, and all it comes down to be is he's just like the sacrifice.
But that's the puzzle of the dreams.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like the puzzle of the dream lines up
Yes, it does.
with what happens.
Because
I
it
don't.
shows he's a friend. And technically, he is a friend because through him, he becomes a Fremen.
It's just the whole thing. It's versions of the future.
I know, but I'm just saying, if that's the case, they should have shown different versions of Jameis's character. They show one version of Jameis's character,
But they're-
and then the reality is not the same as
Right,
what they show.
because they're
Well, they showed two
foreshadowing, but
versions.
changing the foreshadow
They showed
to
two
let you know
versions.
that what Paul's seeing is not always.
if that's the
He has
case,
to dissect his future.
if that's the case, I think they should have showed potentially different versions
but
of
it-
Jameis.
okay.
They did.
No,
they
no.
showed him like I'm going to show you the ways,
think
and then
you're-
shows him killing him.
You're missaying versions of the future. It's not versions of the future. It is the future
Or
that
it's-
he has to interpret.
I
Yeah.
know.
These visions.
I
It's like
just,
possibility.
I
It's not a
just-
possibility. It is the future, but he has to determine the parts of it that work.
Yes.
Like seeing him as he's supposed to be his friend.
here's an example: the girl, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm.
There's the
Chani. Chani is the character's name.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's a moment where it seems kind of like maybe he's there to protect her. Maybe he's there to save her. Maybe she gives him the sword. Maybe she kills him because she comes out with a bloody hand. So it's like it's like this elusive, who is she? What is she? What am I getting wrong? Why am I not figuring out who she is? But with Jameis, it's consistent the whole time, in my opinion. So it doesn't really feel like that dream sequence of I've got the answer, but I got to figure out how it fits.
No, it does. Okay. In his dreams, she kills him with that spear.
Yeah, that's the first time we see her. Is she's
Right.
killing him.
But she is his path to becoming the new person by getting the spear from him. And same with Jameis. He's his path to becoming a Fremen by killing him. That makes him a friend to follow him and to
He says,
look
"I'm
for
going to show
him.
you I'm going to show you the ways of the desert, and to kill him is how he learns the ways of the desert."
Yes.
I know. I'm just saying. I feel
It's
like
all there.
I feel like his character when you meet him, it's it's a little bit
too intense.
It's a little bit too
or too quickly changed.
But he never changed. He's always been consistently, I hate you. Outward.
That's not. I don't feel like that is how they built him up to be.
But they don't even build him up. They just introduce him.
With his expressions that they see in his vision. We could talk about this for a long time because it's not going to change for me.
But you're taking it literally. The vision isn't literal.
I know, but what I'm trying to say
that's what I'm trying to say. It's a puzzle.
Let her talk.
What I'm trying to say is I understand it's a puzzle, but it doesn't. All of the other puzzles he has are a little bit ever changing, and so it's really up to him to figure out how it fits. But with Jameis's, every time he gets a flash of seeing Jameis, I don't think it makes him look like there's ever a moment when he's going to have to kill him, or maybe Jameis is going to kill him. It just didn't, to me.
Exactly.
There was literally, though, a dream where Jameis kills him.
When?
Shortly before the fight.
It's Zendaya who kills him.
No, that's
it shows him. It shows him fighting, and then he gets stabbed in the side.
By Zendaya.
And then he comes and he cuts his wrist.
The scene where the voiceover is like, when you take a life, you have to take your life as well.
Maybe, but yeah, that was a dream.
But
that wasn't Jameis who kills him.
That wasn't Jameis who
kills
him.
Zendaya.
No, it's a different person.
It's the girl.
Pretty sure it's Jameis.
Nope, it's the girl. Because that's how she gives him the knife to essentially kill the old Paul to become the new Paul.
Yeah. Right.
That's what that dream represents.
Yes, we understand that. But I'm just saying that I still just don't think that they did Jameis's character justice in real life, because he looks like he's going to be maybe kind of like this aloof, suave character, and then you meet him and he's just like aggressive and angry, and I just don't think he fits.
I thought that was the point, because
that was the whole point. Yeah.
He's there's a dream, and then there's what he actually sees. It's just interpretation. He's missing the key to the dream.
I think it felt rushed and forced, and I don't think
I could see that, though.
I could see that.
Maybe more of a transition, or more of like a leading up into why he's so aggressive. Like, show more of it before that.
Yeah, I just don't
why
think
he hates him so much.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Something
or
doesn't
show
work
why
there.
he hates Outer Worlders in general. I guess we know.
But I feel like that also gives the audience like a whoa moment. Like, oh, we thought this guy was going to be a good guy and be in the movie more instead of killed in 5 minutes.
To me, the way it looks is they just wanted something to surprise you with, so they just killed him. It doesn't actually do justice to why he's killed. I understand the reason why he's killed logically is because it's his rite of passage, but to me, it just kind of looks like they need some way to show he's going to become
maybe put too much emphasis on that character.
Or just too much emphasis on I need the gladiator to like. It just seems like all of a sudden he's so butthurt for no reason. They need to show why.
Or maybe if they didn't show him in the dream and you just saw him fight.
Or if they just showed him once, maybe. It's just they showed him over and over as like this, like he's kind of like just like kneeling and watching, and it looks like he's gonna be like this really cool character, and then you meet him and it's just like, I just don't think it mixes right.
I just think you wanted him to be in the movie because you saw him to be his friend. And then he turned out not to be his friend.
I'm okay with him not being his friend. I just don't think the puzzle pieces they gave adds up to what actually happens.
I do.
I don't.
100%.
I think there should have been more distinctly different versions of Jameis, and I just think there weren't.
I don't think I think the idea of the directing was to show the dreams of Jameis being like this guiding, friendly, like Obi-Wan type character to help him like learn the ways of the desert, and when you meet him and he's a dick, you feel like he's gonna come around to be that character of being nice, but they don't, because it's showing that the dreams of Paul's dreams.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is, why is he the only character that is consistent in his dreams, whereas all the other characters are questionable in his dreams?
What do you mean consistent?
Like every time you see Jameis in a dream, it's that Obi-Wan character, maybe a little bit mysterious, but every other person in his dreams, every time he sees them, they're different. They have a different message. They have a different interpretation. Maybe we can't trust them. It's like all these questions, they're so different. Whereas you see Jameis and it's like a static.
But he's only in 2 of them.
Then that's even more of why they should have been different. You can't give 2 of the same thing and then make him vastly different from the dreams.
Yes, you can.
I don't think you can. I think it's awkward.
They did it.
I know, and I think it's awkward.
I feel like you need to watch it in the theater to get the whole fucking emphasis of the whole thing.
I think this, like, I'm with Michael in the sense that, like, it's supposed to be confusing. You don't understand what the dream means.
I understand that, but it's still, if they're gonna do that, then I think that they didn't do his character justice.
What do you mean by you didn't? his character didn't get justice.
Like
in what
all,
sense?
it's just like if he's gonna be very, very against it, I think they should have written that situation different. Because everyone's like, okay, you know, they've proved themselves. Let's move on. And then he's just like throwing a temper tantrum. No, they didn't prove themselves. Fight me. It just seems stupid to me. I feel
so
like
you think there
it's
should have been
immature.
more of a build up on
There should have
why he
been-
was aggressive?
There should have been something different to show like he was more of an like what gives him the right to fight him, like who's the leader there, because it makes it seem like
Well, that's what he was doing. He was questioning him too.
I just feel like he just it looks like a temper tantrum
I
to
think
me.
what you're trying to say is there should have been more of a build up in
Maybe I'm
and,
not
like,
sure,
or more of a build up in the aggression,
Or-
not just going from like he's there to he's aggressive.
and it's not even aggressive, it's like whiny. He's like a complaining, whiny character, and I just think it's like really a disrespectful move. If they're gonna make him kind of like that character, I think they should have showed it a different way.
But they did. That's the character.
I
They
don't-
never show him a different way.
In like when they first
Than
get
that.
to the clearing with the worm, and the worm goes away.
But
to
his
me-
character doesn't change. That's what I'm really confused about. What you're saying is that he's always aggressive and a dick towards everybody, not just Paul. He's aggressive towards Javier Bardem's character as well. He questions him because I feel like that character feels like that Javier Bardem lost on purpose to help these people, and he's like, "Fuck this! That's not our way. I want to fight somebody," and then he does. I mean, that's their
Maybe it's
their
just
culture.
The interactions didn't gel for me. I just felt like his character seemed a little bit too whiny, and it didn't match up with a really great fighter. I just don't imagine a really great fighter to be so complaining.
Well, he obviously wasn't a great fighter.
Well,
'cause he got his ass whooped.
He probably was a good fighter for them, but not compared to the world leading fighters. I don't know. It's my opinion. I don't think they did his character justice in that moment. I think they could have worked it a little bit differently just to give it more power behind it. I wasn't inspired.
No, I think
I
there
wasn't
could have been
inspired
more
by
to the
that
scene.
moment.
I think there could have been more to it.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna say I was sad that he died because he's one of my favorite actors. And I was like,
Aw.
yes, he's in it.
I didn't care that he died because he wasn't a big
Exactly.
character.
It was an uninspiring moment. Like if this is
Wasn't that it was
supposed-
uninspiring. It's
For me
I
it
didn't have
was.
an attachment to the character. He was somebody that was in the way. I didn't care if he lived or died. I didn't have emphasis on the character like I had emphasis on Paul or
the girl
Javier
Chani,
Bardem
whatever.
or Chani. Like him, it's like okay, he's not who he is in the dream.
Maybe we
so
should
he's
all
not fun.
watch this scene again.
I think we
Well,
should.
we need to do it
Just put
after
it up
this
on
because I'm pretty sure. Like I genuinely think like Mandela effect or something in my mind that he's the one that stabbed him in the dream.
We
I'm
do
pretty
need to
sure it was
rewatch.
Zendaya that
Yeah,
stabbed
we
him in
do.
the dream.
Well, she did definitely. Like one of the first dreams he had, he was stabbed by her. But I think before it, I think Jama stabs him also.
Yep, we need to watch it again.
Yeah, we'll do it after this. So
no,
then
tonight I'm not gonna watch it after this. You crazy?
no, not
No,
not the
not
whole
the
movie.
whole
Set
thing,
everything.
just that scene.
No, I mean that means we have to fucking set up everything. But
do it on HBO Max.
No, we don't have to stream it.
But yeah, when the ending was coming, I wanted it to end. Like I felt like it would be the perfect time to end. Because I mean, I you could hear the music building up in my head. I'm like, cut to black, cut to black, cut to black, cut to black, and then it cut to black. I was like, yes. Like it was just that's exactly what I felt like. It was a perfect time to end because it was a new chapter of his life.
Yep.
And it ended on this high-ish note, or like a high note in a low area.
Oh yeah, it's the
And so-
perfect time to cut.
Like, I mean, you could have cut after the desert, after the sandstorm, but then
You
you
don't
would
wanna
have
do
opened
that.
with the fight.
The reason why, and this is kind of what I was saying with like good TV, is that is a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's too much of a cliffhanger.
But
like,
ending where they did, it's still a cliffhanger
It's-
because you
it's-
still now you want to know.
yeah.
Okay, now I got to turn the page to find out how does he interact
It's
with the
half
group.
the story, but it's a complete half
Yes,
story.
you don't feel uncomfortable, but you absolutely are left wanting more. It's the perfect cliffhanger.
Yeah. And with the trilogy, it is going to be 3 movies. It's part 1 and part 2 are the first book.
can we just have 2?
Well,
Isn't
part
this
1 and
the
part 2 is
perfect? Why
is
don't you want
the first
more?
book.
Because it was perfect.
You don't need to
you're
watch
f-
the
you
third
don't
one because it's the
trust-
third book. Or the second book.
You don't trust
Part
it's
1,
gonna
part
be
2
good.
is the
Yeah.
first Dune. Part 3 is
Trust issues.
the second
Third
book.
movies are always the worst.
Then don't watch the third one.
I'm just saying in general, with trilogies, the third one is always the worst. Return of the Jedi sucks. Rise of Skywalker sucks.
Matrix 3.
Matrix 3 is by far the worst one. So every time it just goes too far.
We'll find out.
We just need 2 movies. Come on, Denis.
But it's also because the second book is where Paul's story ends.
Yeah, we don't need the second book. We just want the first Dune book.
Well, let's ask the rest of everybody that's watched Dune and see if you're still in the minority for this.
Oh, let's compare the old Dune and new Dune.
Well,
Well,
she
I
hasn't
can't.
seen it.
I
so-
Well, we can. You
okay,
can.
which part? What do you want to compare?
I loved the David Lynch weirdness.
What was Jameis's character like in the?
He wasn't even in it. I don't remember being fucking in it. Maybe he
Neither
was.
do
I don't
I.
remember. But I loved the weirdness.
Well, it was like that campy sci-fi.
Yeah, it was like I loved
Bright. And
the monster, the creatures, and like the weird costumes, and just like the tone that he did felt like great, weirdly. But
well, you like David Lynch.
yeah, I
so
like David Lynch, but the Villeneuve is far superior,
Leaps and
like in
bounds,
every
yeah.
way. But I still like the weirdness of the Lynch one compared to this.
I liked Lynch's.
I like the opening scene of Lynch's where it starts in that weird space station and that weird fucking slug creature comes out and it's like,
Yeah, and like that
Get
tank
that-
or whatever.
Benny Gesserit witch out of here. And I was like, oh man, I love this. What the fuck? Why does anyone like this movie? And then the rest of the movie happens like, oh, that's why.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I do wish the Villeneuve was complete and we didn't just get half a movie. I would have preferred to have like a nice 6-hour movie. That's just me personally.
No, I would absolutely sit and watch 6 hours of that.
I would have too if they had kept
But
going.
I'm okay with it, like part
If
1,
they,
part 2.
yeah, if they had kept going, I would have been totally happy. But if they stopped there, I was like, oh, that's a really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I just fear that we're not going to get another one because his movies don't do well.
Well, the big thing that they were saying is box office and if it does well on streaming compared to just box office, like a lot of movies do. Just so it has to do well on HBO Max.
We didn't even talk about the sandworms,
Oh yeah.
the buttholes.
Dude, did you like? It took him like he was saying. It took him like a year to develop that.
Really?
To figure out like what texture they wanted, what they wanted the teeth to look like, how big they wanted, all that sort of stuff.
It looked really cool.
Yeah,
It did look really cool, but it didn't look unique. I don't
Yeah.
know why it took so long.
Yeah.
because they had the rest
Perfectionism.
of the movie to talk about.
I guess it's just like it looked like every other sandworm in sci-fi history,
Man,
me.
that one frame,
which isn't bad.
the one
It's just-
framing how they showed the one Fremen riding it.
Yeah.
I like how it showed like it was like zoomed out, like you're looking at it through binoculars. I think they were, but I
Yeah, they
just like the look of it. How it's like, damn, is that dude riding it?
I like
I know that's the
It was like a
chick.
POV.
No,
That's
the,
the chick.
she
the
died.
tease
No,
where
no, no.
she's
You
gonna
think
ride
she-
it and she gets killed.
You think
Yeah.
she dies. She does not. I don't think she dies.
She
That's
got
her
eaten.
riding it.
She
No. She falls in with the sand, but it does not show that she gets eaten. He gets eaten. I think you're supposed to think because she
She was
realizes
also
that
shot.
yeah, she was shot in the back.
she's absolutely dying. But I think it shows her. She sees the sandworm coming, so she starts burying to get her things ready. I think that's her that hooks onto the worm. She's getting out of there.
Okay, well, I don't
Because
think
she was
that's
already.
all.
She
I-
was
That was
already.
a dude right
Yeah.
in that fucking
I don't
sandworm.
think. I don't
It
think
was
it was.
her. I
I don't
thought
think
it
it
That
was
was
a guy
not
or
her.
You
girl.
saw her hair.
I
Nope.
that could have been the
Nope.
scarf.
Yeah, that was a
but
scarf.
I absolutely don't think it was her.
I
was a
guarantee it was
dude.
her. She's coming back in part 2.
I bet you $5 that wasn't her. I bet you
$5 on.
I bet you $5
screen
she's
now,
in the
you can
tummy of
see.
that sandworm.
Yeah, I
No.
agree.
She's
So you
riding
can
that.
Shai
win-
Halud.
You
I
could win
think-
$10.
Oh, I was thinking it was the
All hell
hardcore
Shai
band.
Halud.
I'm telling you right now, she was prepping to ride that sandworm. It's supposed to make you think she dies. She does not die.
She was prepping.
I'm gonna tell you this
She was
isn't that
fluffing
kind of
it
movie.
and got killed.
She said this is her homeland. She
And then
knows
she got
how
shot.
to. I know, but she knows how to. I think if she doesn't get help, she's going to die. But that's why she's riding the worm to get back to her home.
She
and
went
die.
I
into its
agree.
goddamn mouth.
She does not go into it. We're gonna
Yeah, she
watch that
does.
scene again too.
She absolutely does.
They all
Don't
get
doesn't.
engulfed into this.
No,
It doesn't
no.
show-
It shows her falling into the sand, but it does not show her going in the
She's
mouth.
right next to the other guy. She is dead.
She
Either way,
rides the worm.
it's absolutely, in my opinion, not her. It's just another
yeah,
Fremen.
that's a
Either
dude.
way,
It was
Because
a
there's more
band.
than
it
one.
doesn't matter who's
I saw his
riding
dick.
it.
That was a
It doesn't.
guy.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter who's riding it. Physics says you cannot hold on to that worm. If that worm's going millions of miles an hour, there's no way
It's
you
desert
can ride
power.
it.
It's
It wasn't
desert
going
Fremen
millions.
power.
Okay, it's hundreds of miles an hour. Either way, you cannot hold on to something hundreds of miles an hour with your little.
Unless you're trained to do it for years
They're
and
Fremens.
lived in it.
Maybe
So
the
you're trying to
spice
tell
gives
me-
you
you're trying to
special
tell me-
abilities.
You're trying to tell me if we were trained to ride onto airplanes, we could do it.
They're
No,
not
no,
going
no.
700 miles an hour.
That worm was going 700 miles
No,
an
I
hour.
think there's a psychic link that happens with the space.
Actually, we
that's
can
in the,
do-
That's in the
we can
lore
do
that
the-
it has to do with.
we can do the
You have
math.
to have a connection.
We can do the math because we know how many
Oh, it's like
yards
that
away.
movie,
Whenever it was about to get the
Avatar.
spice truck.
when they have to,
Yeah,
they
the
can
movie.
only ride on the things by connecting.
How
with
fast?
them.
How far away was it?
It does say how many kilometers away it is, and it says 5 minutes. So we can do the math. Blank kilometers per minute,
I
and
don't
that's how
wanna do
fast
it.
it's moving.
I don't care.
Let's.
I care.
I don't care
I'm
at
gonna
all.
Google this and see if
All I
was
know is
her
that
riding
woman
it.
is
That was
totally
not.
dead
It was her.
and got eaten, and she's poop now.
Nope.
She's Shai Halud's poop.
Nope. She is riding
how
that
fast
worm.
do sandworms
Shai Halud.
track.
Yeah,
There's
you have to
different
give him the name.
sandworms.
Give
Are
him the
we
name.
taking Beetlejuice sandworms here?
I don't remember sandworms and Beetlejuice.
It's literally the biggest. It's like the most iconic thing about Beetlejuice is Beetlejuice.
Not for me.
They're black and
How
white
fast is
sandworms
Shai
with the
Hulud?
mouth.
His
Sandworm and
clothes are the
Dune.
most iconic thing about Beetlejuice.
Do you have your phone? Just do Beetlejuice sandworm. You've seen it.
I will. Beetlejuice sandworm.
Yeah, it's not showing the speed, but we look up that and
Oh yeah, I do remember those.
Yeah, it's like
we'll
Those are
watch,
pretty-
iconic.
those
we'll
are
watch
pretty
that scene and
iconic.
do the calculations.
I still think his.
I just think
outfit's
no
more
one
iconic.
fucking cares. Just
I
like me.
care. The calculations they're running. They're going hundreds of miles per hour.
We'll find out.
That's why it was silly that they're trying to run away from the worm on foot. Ain't gonna happen.
It's also a movie.
I know, but I'm just saying.
They're also
Anyway.
doing the sand dance.
Not
The
when they were
moonwalker,
running.
the sandwalker. What is
Not-
it called?
I don't know.
I think it was called the Sand Dance.
Were there Jawas? Was any Jawas in this
No.
movie?
No, whenever he was like,
Different
run.
universe.
Man, that's another thing.
Because he was also able to They were able to outrun the sound, kind of outrun.
That's
it,
what
but
I'm saying.
That's why they're not going 100 miles
I
an
don't
hour.
like that they like the mom. I understand he's the Messiah, so like he has a deep understanding, and now he's the Duke because the dad's dead. But like, the mom kind of became like, what's the word when you like just
Push off, throw away, useless. His
Well-
new concubine.
Okay, there was a weird sexual moment. Did you guys catch
1,000,000%.
it when he was taking off his shirt?
1,000,000%.
Uh-huh.
What was
It's
that
weird.
about?
I was like, oh, they're
weird.
gonna fuck.
I was like,
That's
don't
weird.
do it, don't do it.
gonna
And then
happen.
I was like, okay, maybe she's actually considering killing him. It was
No,
like I
she's
couldn't tell if she's thinking about having.
Blowing him. That's what she was
That
It was
contemplating.
weird. It was weird.
It was that same look that Sam gave Frodo.
No, it was not.
We should line them
was
up
not.
let's go side by side.
It wasn't that Sam does.
It was not that look the Sam gives.
It was the same vibe though.
No, it was a similar vibe, but no, it was not the same at all.
So Peter Jackson can't show friendship, and
Actually,
Villeneuve cannot show a
Maternal
kid
love.
and mother love.
Peter
No, but,
Jackson
like-
actually tried to direct this movie.
Thank God he
Oh.
didn't, because they would have fucked in it.
okay, no, but what I'm saying is like she becomes like whenever he was like run, no woman who has raised a child is going to wait for her son to say run. She's already mothering. She's going to tell him to run long before
I
he
think she's
does.
just lost because her husband just died. Not her husband, her concubine just died, and
No,
her whole
she's
world is
fine.
basically fucked.
No,
And she's
no.
distraught.
It just makes her seem really patronized. Is that the word? It's just so ridiculous to me. Like,
I think the actress,
Like she should have been the one that said run.
yes,
Yeah, the
she's
actress-
his
I agree.
mom.
she's always a sneaky character, and I didn't trust her in this movie. I thought every second she's gonna turn on everybody.
yeah, she definitely has
She looks
that.
treacherous. 1,000,000%.
She does look
She's
sketch.
a treacherous woman.
So she's a woman.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Can't trust her.
Anyway, it just that really bothered me. I just didn't like that dynamic. I understand he's the Messiah, and he's also it's like coming of age for him. Like he's making his own path, but it's just she got treated like she was real dumb real quick.
1,000,000%. I totally
Yeah.
got that vibe too.
Yeah, she should have been the one that says run because she
She's
still
his
knows.
mom.
Even in the tent, like here's water from the tent.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. They
No
just
fucking shit, dude.
yes, it's like they just take away her. She's not only that, but she's an adult. She's always going to be older than him and more wise. Like
I feel-
it's so
I
frustrating.
think it
to
also
me.
shows that how regal she is. That she's never been on the in the wild, essentially on her own. She's always had people taking care of her, and now she's on her own. She doesn't understand like
But at the same
still
time,
suits and all this shit.
at the same time, she's also clearly an independent thinker because she breaks the rules and starts mixing. She starts teaching her son the way, as they call it.
I don't feel like that's survivalism.
I
like
think,
which this is showing.
I think that shows that she's clearly an independent thinker and she's very intelligent.
Well, there's intelligence
she
in
has-
surviving in the desert.
I think intelligence is enough to say run when your child is in danger, direct danger.
I think she's just like, whoa, what the fuck is going on?
When
I
your
think it was
child is in
mismanaged.
direct danger.
It shouldn't have been. I think they were trying to build him up, not
There
bring
exactly,
her down.
but I think it's not
But
realistic.
it's
and
kind
it
of like mansplaining in acting form.
And that's why I think they like really, it's like patronizing to her. She is not only an adult, way older than him, but she's his mother. She's going to be protecting him at all costs.
I think it's also showing him taking command now.
I know, but
That's
it's
what I think they're
unnecessary
trying
in
to
that
show.
moment.
I don't really care.
It's just annoying to me.
It's fine.
It's annoying to me with the greater scheme, but whatever. I can get over it.
I thought she was
I
going
have
to
to get
die
over it.
immediately. I thought they were just going to kill her off.
They might as
Like in the
well. They
plane.
might as well have.
Not the plane, the grass. What is it? Dragonfly.
The
fucking thing.
Thornacopter.
The thorax. The Thanos copter.
Thanos copter.
Each wing has a little ring on it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, that scene when they're in the helicopter, the lighting.
the green lighting.
No, the yellow lighting, because it's coming from the glass.
Oh
From
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
same
It's
And I was
really
like, that
beautiful.
is such a great touch.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, we should start wrapping up.
Yeah.
Oh,
We really
yeah.
Any
should.
final quick?
Should we
Thoughts?
rate it? Can we rate it? Does anyone have a
I
fun
give
rating
it
for
a
it?
10,191 out of 10.
Yeah, I
Is that the
give
year?
it. I give it a
Yep.
9.9.
That's the year that
That's the
took
year,
place.
Sarkars fighting with the Harkonnens, killing the Atreides, sodomizing the corpses. That's what the Harkonnens would million. The Sarkars would totally fuck the corpses.
I think the Sarkars would just moved and like, all right, let's kill the next people.
No, because that's what the Mongolians did. They would literally
They're
stab
based on
holes
Mongolians.
and fuck them. That's what they would do. Men in battle is not what you see on TV. Those guys get boners and they fuck. They fuck.
For what?
Right? You were there. You were in the army. You know this. You know what I'm talking about.
Not a savage army.
The murder boners. You know about this.
I don't know. For what the movie is supposed to be, I'll give it a 9.5 poison tooths out of 10. For my own personal gripes, I'm really going to give it like an 7 or 8.
Let's kill her, David.
But for what it's supposed to be, I think it's really almost perfect. It's
Schmittens
just
gives it a-
I have my own grievances that are more of just larger grievances. Oh, we have a message.
What's it say? Michael rules.
Hi, P Tuller 99. Nice production. Thank you. We
Thanks.
try. We're trying. We're learning every single time
Yeah.
we do this. Well, you're
Unfortunately, it
catching
came
us in the
towards
tail end.
Yeah, at the very end, you missed the 20 minutes of us trying to fight each other over one scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. We argued for about 5 minutes on.
It was
Five?
like 20.
Yeah,
it was like
it was-
20
You think it was
minutes.
20?
It
was-
was like 10,
I was looking
10
at
or
the-
15.
I
I
was
guess
looking
you'll
at
have to
the
watch the
fucking
VOD
thing.
and
Yeah.
figure it out.
And tell us.
But we do stream every Saturday, so please come back.
Yeah.
Saturdays around 3, and
Check
we
us out.
also
3
stream
Central Time.
gaming.
Oh yeah, we do gaming.
Yeah, we're
too.
gonna be doing it after this probably in about an hour.
Yeah, about 6. We'll be playing
6
who
Central.
knows, some game. We haven't figured it out, right? Kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you like this,
Yeah, if you want to follow us, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would. And you'd be the first person to have the new animations. Do we have
Yeah, that's
animations
true.
now?
They
if you want to
animated
see
for
them,
the
you know you
alert
do.
box.
If you're
Yeah.
still here.
He's like, nice production, bye.
Peace, dogs.
All right. Well, either way.
15. Wait, is that new?
Did it happen?
The alert box didn't go off though.
Oh no, we just lied.
Oh. Well,
David didn't set it up right. Blame him.
yeah.
Can you do the alert box?
You
on
cut
the
the
thing just
Austin
to
and punch
show
him
it?
in the dick.
What do you mean? Wait, what?
Like, can you do the test so
Do the
it
test
shows?
just so it could show. Hold
Yeah,
on.
do it.
You get to see a nice David's face.
Oh no.
Oh, what a
All right.
world, what a world, what a
we'll
world.
we'll do it, and then we'll just pretend it's your name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right over Abbie.
right here. Is it doing the sound? Yeah.
We can't hear the sound because our computer's muted. But
All right. That's
oh
for
yeah, we're
you.
delayed. That's right.
Oh yeah, I imagined it, and it was beautiful.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I imagine you're beautiful.
I know you're beautiful.
Oh no!
Anyway.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, it's delayed.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's delayed on here.
It's
okay.
like fucking 30-second delay.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing some game here in about an hour. We're gonna switch around the set, so
Yeah.
hopefully it looks okay.
But yeah, thanks for the follow. We love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we sure do.
Thanks for watching. We'll be posting the VOD, that edited VOD, on YouTube. It's youtube.com/tvparty. But I mean, you'll be able to see the VOD here, so you can see us talk about Doom for an hour and a half.
Forever.
Yeah, and watch
truly.
Dune if you haven't.
Yeah.
Oh my
please.
gosh, yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Dune, watch Dune in theaters, preferably IMAX, and then come watch the VOD.
Yeah, it'll make more sense. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna switch over our setup to do games now.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.